Everybody's good? What about the sisters? Y'all good? Is it hot in here?
Yeah.
Yes. I asked is it hot? Yeah, let's get the fan. If it's hot, we'll open up the windows. Can one of you brothers get the fan off the garage? There's a couple. You can turn on this fan right here.
Is it the stand-up one you put on there?
The black one and the two that you have, the white one. You can use those. There's two in it.
It's not in there?
There's two. All right. I think you might have.
I think I probably pulled it out.
All right, Salakia. Let's get started, man. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. And all praises. That's the energy I'm talking about. Hallelujah, all right? You know, I always talk about how we have to be energetic when we come back to keep the Sabbath. You know, like this should not be taken for granted. You know, I know when you're in the troop for, a couple of years, you start going to the Sabbath day, you wake up saying, I guess I'll go to the Sabbath day today, but that's not the type of energy we need to have. We should be excited when the Sabbath day comes around, right? And when we talk about, your spirit and your energy being lifted back up, and you see your brothers and your sisters, right? All of us have long weeks, probably working 40 and 50 hours a week. We got all these bills. We got fake friends, fake people in our ears, and people telling you why you shouldn't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, and why it's good to go against the commandments, but that's just folly, man. Right? We know when we keep the commandments, we shall be blessed. Thus saith the Most High. Right? And the Most High is not a liar. Right? So today's topic, go over a couple of scriptures before we get to the portion. Today's topic is called Christ shall come back for war. Right? Because they paint a picture of Christ when he comes back that, we're going to be holding hands, all nations, and we're going to be singing Kumbaya. We're going to be saying, thank the Lord. Right? Joy to, I like to sing that song. Joy to the world, the Lord has given. They like to sing that song, and they instill these things in our children from the time they're young. So when they get 30 years old and you tell somebody from the side of the street, like, God don't love everybody, he actually coming back and killed a couple of people have a problem with that, right? This is the God that we serve. Remember John 4:22, it says what? It says, ye know not what ye serve, but we know what we serve. Salvation is of the Jews. That's the first step to understanding this law, statutes, and commandments. You got to understand that salvation is of Israelites, right? It's of God's chosen people. He shall not cast the children of Israel away. The Most High is not a liar. He made an agreement from the very beginning. And he said in the last days, he shall have mercy on our people, right? So we're going to go ahead and jump in. Before I get started, and today's portion is going to be Leviticus chapter 25, and 1 to Leviticus 23, and I believe it's 27 and 34. Salafi. So Leviticus chapter 25 and 1 to Leviticus 27 and 34. All right. So let's get a couple of scriptures. Colossians 3 and 17 to open up.
It's the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Adonai Yahushua, giving thanks to the Adonai and the Father by him.
All right, so, business as usual, everything we do in the name of Yahushua, the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Right? We got to go through the Son first. The Son is that's our protection. That's our life, right? He was with us when we were in the wilderness. He was with the Most High when he created the heavens and the earth and the lights and the stars. Right? So we everything we do through the name of Yahushua. All right, so let's get it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. And like I say all the time, make sure you write these scriptures down. Man. You never know when you're going to have a so-called Christian come up and challenge you. Right? You got to be prepared at all times. Because like I say all the time, if it takes one time for them to confound you, and they're no longer believers in the Bible, like from what your standpoint is. Right? You don't understand what you're saying, right? Just hold down, let me call my captain, or let me call one of the brothers, let me see what's going on first. And then answer before you get confounded. Nobody in this room should ever be confounded by a Christian. Right? We study the scriptures way too diligently to be doing that. And if you're getting confounded, make sure you put some more work in. Right? So Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth.
It says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Who are the judges of the earth? We are, right? We are the true judges of the earth. These same Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, we are the true judges of the earth. Right? So we gotta love righteousness, right? Read on.
Think of the Most High with a good heart,
Uh-huh.
and in simplicity of heart seek Him,
Right?
for He will be found of them that tempt Him not.
Who will be found of us that tempt him not? Tempt him to do what? To kill us, man. Right? Tempt him to do what? Punish us. Right? These are the things we look for. We look for the Most High in righteousness' sake, for him to be our guidance, for him to be our Father. Right? Read on.
And showeth Himself unto such as do not distrust Him.
Right? He's gonna show himself to people that don't distrust him. Right? We gotta make sure that we trust it in the Most High in everything that we do. Right? I know sometimes it may seem impossible to get out of certain situations, but there's always a way with the Most High. People forget that. Right? You're thinking in a fleshly mindset. If you think that, you're like, man, there's no way the Most High can do that. No, you don't understand. The Most High created the entire earth. If he can create the earth, he can do anything that he wants to, man. He created a big ball of fire to sit there in the sky day in and day out and just sit there. If he can do that, why can't he change your life? Right? What's impossible with the Most High? So we got to make sure that we remember that. As judges of the earth, we have to make sure that we're on one page. We got to be on one accordance with the Most High and Yahushua, with the angels. Right? Come on, so drop that. Let's get wisdom solid. Jump to chapter 8. Chapter 8 and read verse 8.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
If a man desire much experience,
Right?
she knoweth things of old,
Uh-huh.
and conjectureth
Right?
aright what is to come.
Right. Conjecture aright what is to come. Right? So getting this experience in the scriptures and the spirit, we know the things that are going to come. Right? We understand the future. We are prudent. Everybody in this truth shall be prudent. What does it mean to be prudent? I asked this last week.
Mindful, thoughtful.
Mindful, thoughtful of what?
The future.
Of the future. Right? We should all be prudent. Everybody in this room, as an Israelite, we should always be prudent people, having care for the future. We don't just act out of in the moment, right? That's why we got to be mindful of what we do, our actions, because we're thinking into the future. We're thinking about our kids' kids. That's how far we need to look down into this thing, right? We don't.
What is to come,
Right?
She knoweth the subtitles of speeches,
Subtleties.
subtleties of speeches,
Uh-huh.
and can expound dark sentences.
Can expound dark sentences. So there's things in this Bible that can be considered dark sentences that people don't understand. That's why Christians, a lot of Christians and Catholic people, they like to stay out of the book of Revelations, right? They're scared of the book of Revelations because Revelations has some dark sentences, man. Right? When it talks about wiping everybody off the face of the earth, that's a dark sentence. But why? Because they don't have understanding of what that means, right? So us as Israelites, we gotta be prudent in knowing what is to come. We gotta be prudent in understanding the scriptures, understanding and expounding on the dark sentences that are written in the Bible. What you got?
What you see is evidence in Revelation 9:10.
What about
That's not Revelation 13:9 and 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, come. Yeah. It's a couple of. Well, the point of it is a lot of dark senses, things that can't be understood, things that says like, I'm gonna separate the sheep and the goats. I'm gonna slaughter the goats and all of these. These are dark senses. That's what we consider dark in the Bible, right? So read on.
She foreseeth signs and wonders.
She foresees signs and wonders, right? The wisdom, the experience, the understanding that we get, it foresees signs and wonders. The things that happen in the earth, when we hear about, for example, China said they lift something in the sky, right? Well, how much did it weigh? 23 tons, they say? And it's supposed to come down sometime this weekend. They don't know where it's going to land. They just know it's going to come back down to earth, right? When we start seeing stuff like that, come on, that's the Most High, man. Right? The Most High is preparing this earth for its destruction. All of these things are happening for what? Us to get our act together, right? When we see these commercials on TV and the things that they talk about, when Lil Uzi Vert, right? Or not Lil Uzi, Nas X, right? when he can make a video of the devil, of Satan himself, and everybody's okay with that, we shall see the signs and the wonders in the earth, man. The wickedness has increased itself. So us seeing that, we know that the Most High is not too far away. When these things start to ramp up, the Most High is going to start to ramp up, right? So we got to be mindful of that. Every time we see wickedness, we got to get more righteous, right? We got to start looking in our Bible and say, man, where is this in the Bible, right? You know what I'm saying? So we got to be mindful of all these things that are to come, right? Read on.
And the events of seasons and times.
In the events of seasons and times. So just by looking at certain things, we shall know what times we're in. By looking at the things that are going on, we know that we're in the last days, man. Right? The lies and the wickedness that is going on, we know this is the last days. Right? This is not just a feeling we have. This is not just something like, oh, I feel it in my gut. Listen, they're giving free money away in America. When have they ever gave free money to anybody? And nothing is free.
Right.
Nothing is free. They give you a $1,400 stimmy. What was the next one? $600?
$600.
And I heard they're coming out with another one. Right. And they're giving this to everybody in America. Something's not right. Right? What you got?
Plus they have grants that's giving you over, I think it's $4 trillion of money to give up.
$4 trillion, right? These PPP loans, right? We see what's going on with that. You got people that's getting $200,000 and $300,000 from the government. When did they ever do that?
$2 million just arrested for.
Right, exactly.
He's using it.
And just think about it like this. So all these people that have been poor and sick all this time, they've been saying we don't have the money to do anything about it. No, that goes to show you they've been had the money, right? What you got?
That money, you have to have a certain qualification for. And some people are lying about it, and
Yes.
they are now getting arrested too.
Right.
It's not free.
Mm-hmm. It's not free. Right? It's not free, right? So we gotta, as Israelites, we gotta take these things into account. Now, I'm not telling anybody that you need to give the money back. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is pay attention to the times that we're in, right? When you read the, I think it's 2nd Ezra chapter 16, it talks about things being cheap, right? Things just being given away. It's like no value. Like you just giving away $1,400 checks to everybody. That lets you know that something is coming, man. That lets you know that we're in the last days. That never happened in America, right? Never has happened. So we got to be mindful of those things, right? So today's lesson is called Christ shall come back for war, right? Christ is not coming back to hold hands and give people a kiss on their forehead, right? You had something, Cole?
On the PPP loans,
Right.
it's considered a grant, so it's basically free money. But in order for you to make it into a grant, you're gonna have to use 60% of it on, let's say, paying yourself
Right.
as an employee, or use it on sneakers or Jordan,
Right.
shoes to go to work.
Right.
And you can use that, or you can, write it down as this is a business expense.
Business.
And it'll be everything from 60%. So you get 10,000, 6,000 of that will be for you to use on whatever.
Yeah.
You can pay for your employees or use it for yourself. And it's all.
This is all this. It's all designed. Listen, this whole thing is designed by not only the Most High but the government. Right? All of these things, they're preparing for something. And when we see America preparing like this, we have to prepare ourselves. I'm telling you, everybody right now, get your spirit right, man. You never know when this thing gonna come down. Because the Most High gonna start speeding things up, and you're gonna have to make sure you're ready. Right? If you've been dealing with weakness, get it out your spirit, man. Purge that out now. This is the time. Right?
I was gonna say that money too they're giving us is worthless. It used to be for $2 for every dollar.
Right.
Gold,
Right.
But it's no longer there.
Oh, we know that.
America is bankrupt.
America's bankrupt.
So what they're giving you, they're just printing worthless pieces of paper and just giving it to you.
Absolutely. Come on, absolutely.
Going down.
Come on, absolutely. Listen, what I like to say, America's knees are weak, right? Their knees are shaking. They're gonna fall one day, right? Remember, like Priest God say, every great kingdom shall fall, man. It's only a matter of time before America falls, but you got to make sure, everybody in this room got to make sure that we are prepared for that. Because we will only survive through the spirit of the Most High when everything goes down, right? That's the only way you're going to survive. You're not going to do this by yourself, right? You can't do this by yourself. What you have, brother?
Well, I was going to say, you said it earlier at camp today,
Satan's gonna give you this, Satan's gonna give you that,
Right.
Satan's gonna give you this, but eventually he's gonna come back and say, all right,
I need that. I need that back. Right? You thought you forgot about it. 5 years later. Hey, remember that $1,400 I gave you? I need that back. Plus interest. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be mindful of that, man. Nothing is free on this world, man. Nothing is free. Right? So drop that. Let's get Revelation chapter 19. I need that. I need that. Revelation chapter 19. Let me see where we want to start. And I'll read it now. Right. All right. Let's start at verse. Let's start at verse 7. Revelation 19 and 7.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him.
Right.
For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready.
So it says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. Give respect unto the Most High, right? Give respect unto Christ, Yahweh, right? It says, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife, right? Read on.
Have made herself ready.
So what does this mean, right? I'm gonna give y'all a chance to break this down. What does that mean, brother y'all?
I'd give it a try to say, the lamb being Yahweh,
Right.
The wife is Israel,
Right.
and making herself ready is what you're talking about, preparing,
rehearsing. Absolutely right.
Rehearsing the acts of old,
Absolutely.
getting ourselves mentally, spiritually ready for that marriage.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what that's talking about. Christ is that lamb. He's prepared himself unto us. We are married. That's why when we go into the streets, the scriptures say what? Bid them unto the marriage, right? Bid them to marriage. What does that mean? Marrying who? The Most High, marrying Christ, right? Because we know when we marry, that is a forever thing. You don't get married and say, you know what, I'm out. I want a divorce. That's not how this works. Right? What you got? Let's look at that. It's 2022.
22. Parable about the marriage.
Yeah, let's look at that. I was gonna go into that later, but we can do it now. I think it's start at 10.
22.
2022. Okay.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22 and verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king,
Right.
which made a marriage for his son.
That's right. So it's like a certain king which made a marriage unto his son, right? It's talking about the kingdom of heaven, right? Read on.
And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding,
Right.
and they would not come.
Right.
Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner.
Right. So it's saying he told the other servants, right? Go tell the servants that dinner is ready, man. Right? Everything is ready. Everything is prepared. You need to come now. Right? That's what we're doing. We represent this in the streets. Right? We're telling them, listen, man, you gotta bid yourself, man. Get ready. Read on.
My oxen and my fatlings are killed,
Right?
and all things are ready.
Right?
Come unto the marriage.
Come on to the marriage. You're ready to get married now, right? Read on.
But they made light of it.
They did what?
They made a light of
They
it.
made light of it. They said, man, forget these brothers on the side, man. I ain't trying to hear none of that. Right? I'm not trying to hear about no marriage, man. I gotta get this black out this gas station. Right? I'm trying to get throws and I'm trying to get this Henny bottle. It's on sale. It's 2 for $40, man. Right? This is how they think. Right? That's a deal, right? Read on.
And went their ways,
Right?
one to his farm,
Right? You go to his house, right? Read on.
another to his merchandise.
Go to his own store, right? He probably got his own business. Right? Read on.
And the remnant took his servants,
Right?
and entreated them spitefully,
Right?
and slew them.
And slew them. Some of them they get mad at the servants, right? They hate what we say. They hate this, they hate us for telling them, listen, man, you gotta come back to the marriage. Right? And like I said today, like what is wrong? I don't understand from my standpoint, what is wrong with keeping the law, statutes, and commandments? What's wrong with that? By telling you to love your people, love your brother, love your sister, take care of your wife and your children, right? Don't kill each other, stop selling drugs. What is wrong with that? Right? But people just hate the Most High. That's what it is. Scriptures already told us that. It say, don't think they hated us. They hate the Most High. We're only going into the words of the Most High. The Most High told us to tell you to get ready for the marriage. We just passing that message along. Right? Read on.
And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully,
Right.
and slew them.
Right.
But when the king heard thereof,
Right.
he was wroth,
The Most High hear about this stuff. He wrong, man. Right? Read on.
and he sent forth his armies.
He did what?
And he sent forth his armies.
So he said, if they want to be wicked and continue to rebel, he's gonna send forth those armies, man. Read on.
And destroyed those murderers,
Right?
and burned up their city.
And burned up their city. Right? So we tell them that brimstone gonna come down, man. Right? It's gonna rain fire from the heavens, right? And burn these people up. If you want to continue being a murderer, right? Being a hater of your brother and your sister, right? You want to continue doing that? These things are gonna come down from the heavens and burn you up, man. Right? But they take light of this. They say, man, this ain't happening right now, man. This is Saturday afternoon. I'm just trying to smoke this weed, man. Right? I'm just trying to do a line real quick. I'm trying to pop this molly. Right? That's how these people think, man. Because what? They're not being prudent people. They don't have care for the future. They're living for right now, man. Right? We are to be opposite than that. Right? Read on.
Then said he to his servant,
Right?
the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
Those that were bidden were not worthy, man. I found a couple of people, they not worthy of this person getting married, man. Right? And this is what you have. This is the representation of certain people being in the truth, man. Certain people are not going to be worthy to enter into the kingdom of heaven. They're not worthy to be married to the Most High. They're not worthy to be married to Yahweh. Right? Read on.
Go ye therefore into the highways, as many as ye shall find,
Right?
bid to the marriage.
And do what?
Bid to the marriage.
That's what we do, man. As servants of the Most High, we tell them we bidding into the marriage. Right? But these people continue to take light of what we're saying. They think this is a game. They think this is a joke till little Tyrone gets shot under the tree over there. Right? Now they want to have a block party and say, God, why you took little Tyrone from us? We just told Tyrone to keep the commandments and he broke them, man. Right? And most of the time when you see things like this, like let's say we watch the news. This happens a lot. When you watch the news or something, you see, man, this is a tragic accident, man. Why he took that little 8-year-old boy like that? When you start watching deeper, it's always some type of sin involved with that. Whether it be adultery, whether he killed his brother first, but something happened where there was sin involved. These things would not happen if you were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? So when you look at these pastors who tell people like the commandments are done away with, you don't got to do that. These people are literally murdering people, man. Right?
To speak on that, I don't really know the rapper name, but his 6-year-old daughter had died. And it was like a week earlier, I guess he was dissing one of his, rivals.
This was in Chicago, right?
Yeah, something like that. He was in the drive-through,
Yeah.
So, like you said.
Yeah. Kill that little
The little girl died,
yeah.
but like you said, the sin was involved, and them boys.
Right. Right. And that just goes to show you, it's like when if he was a prudent man, he would think about his children, right? Right? You got to think. You can't always be around your daughter or your wife, right? You see the mafia do that all the time. When you watch these movies, who they target? They target that woman. They target the little children. They're going to get to you some type of way. You can't protect them at all times, right? So you got to be prudent to understand, listen, I'm not only putting myself in danger, I'm putting my family in danger. I'm putting the nation of Israel in danger, right? Every action you make, right? Every action you make reflects the nation of Israel or reflects your family. So we have to be careful, especially the men in here, man. Every decision you make, it could come back on your entire family. So we got to be careful on how we walking and what we're doing and what we're saying, right? So read verse 9 again.
Verse 9. Go ye therefore into the highways, as many as ye shall find,
Right?
bid to the marriage.
Bid to the marriage, man. We tell them come get married, man. Right? Sign this agreement. Sign this contract with the Most High. I promise you, you will not regret it. But they don't want to hear that, right? Read on.
Salakia. Verse 10. So those servants went out into the highways,
Right?
and gathered together all as many as they found,
Right?
both bad and good.
Both bad and good. That just goes to show you, I mean, even in the truth, you have people that are bad and good. Say, get everybody together, man. Right? Read on.
And the wedding was furnished with guests.
Right? They had the guests there, right? You're gonna have the angels, right? Christ, all of these people, right? That serve the Most High. Read on.
And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
So you got just the clothes you, man, you got to be prepared for this thing. You can't just show up thinking you're about to attend the wedding. This is a glorious thing, man.
Right.
You're signing a contract being a witness in front of everybody to the Most High, right? You can't come there with no skimpy garment, right? I'll tell a brother, yo, you invited to my wedding, you come with your shirt ripped up, you got holes all in your pants. I'm like, brother, what you doing, man? Show some respect, right? This is what we got to do for the Most High. Show some respect to the Most High and honor Him. Prepare ourselves appropriately, right? Read on.
And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment.
Right?
And he saith unto him,
Right?
Friend, how camest thou hither not having a wedding garment?
How you gonna come in the truth not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments? Right? How you gonna be in the truth? How you an Israelite but you don't keep the laws, man? Right? Read on.
And he was speechless.
He was speechless. He couldn't say nothing at that point. Right? Imagine you're at the marriage, you're about to get inside the building, and you gotta he's just confounded. Yo, why you came in without a garment? He's stuck. That's how a lot of people are gonna be looking just like that. Right? Read on.
Then said to the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot.
Just because he didn't have a garment on, he said, man, bind this guy up, man. He has no respect for me, man. I am the king, and he comes over here looking any type of way. Right? Read on.
And take him away,
Right?
and cast him into outer darkness.
That's what the Most High is going to do to a lot of people. Right? He's going to cast them to the hell, man. Right? Those low conditions. Right? So we got to make sure to ride the high places of the earth that we do everything we need to do. Bid them to the marriage. Right? Be married unto the Most High. Be married unto Christ. Be married unto the kingdom of heaven. These are the things we strive for, that we would like to attain. I know nobody in here wants to be stuck here forever, right? Right. Nobody wants to, I don't want to work 40. I'm getting tired of working 45 hours.
Amen.
I'm tired of it. Right? And I just started. I'm not even an older man. So I can just imagine. Right? You got to wake up every day just, I got to do this again. Right? When you don't want to. That's slavery, man. We don't have to think about that in the kingdom of heaven. Right? That's the things that we want to strive for, right? So come on, there's more on there?
Oh yeah. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
What does that mean? Just people in anguish, man. You just in a low estate. Right? Can't get out of the situation. You trying, just can't get out. Why? Because you had a chance to bid yourself into the marriage and you passed up on that. Right? You had a chance to be married, man. And he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just pass on that. Right? It's not the way we should do things. Right? So come on. Good precept, good precept. Let's jump back. Let's get Revelation, go back to Revelation 19. Yeah, start at 7.
Yo,
What you got?
so this whole martial law thing that people be talking about, it would apply according to the scriptures and like martial law, and they're like, oh, we're gonna be in martial law, and obviously not really Israel, we're doing commandments and all that.
What's the question?
Martial law.
Is the martial law coming? Come. You read about that in the book of 2 Esdras.
You won't be able to go
Right?
city.
Yeah, that's definitely talking about martial law. You know, whether they want to advertise it or title it martial law or not, there's going to be something in place that stops you from doing certain things. Right? We're not gonna have when everything starts shutting down and coming down and America starts to fall, you're gonna start seeing them, man. All right, so we gotta be prepared for that as well. right? There's gonna be shortages of food. Remember, in the last day, it said people are gonna be ravishing their neighbor's house, man. They're gonna be going through their neighbor's house looking for
like
food and water and things like that.
Just like the person.
Exactly, just like that, right? We can't fathom that now. We're like, man, that can't possibly happen, right? Don't be surprised.
They always do.
If 10 years ago they would have said, man, a sickness gonna come through the earth and shut all the stores down. People not gonna work for months and months and months. People gonna lose their houses and their crib. You'd be like, man, you crazy. Now look what happened. Everybody gotta wear a mask when they go to Publix, right? You gotta wear a mask everywhere you go. You gotta keep a mask on your face. If they would have said that 10 years ago, it would have been like, nah, man, you telling a lie. But these things shall come to pass. These plagues in the earth shall come to pass. That law shall come to pass. Going inside your neighbor's house and you need food shall come to pass. So let's make sure we prepare and got the angels on our side, right? So come on, read what you got.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 7. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she shall be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
The fine linen, that's that righteousness of the saints, man. Right? What is righteousness? Let's get that. Right? It says for the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. So we got to know what that righteousness is, right? Remember, when we read Ephesians chapter 6, it compares the commandments, the righteousness, it compares it to the armor of the Most High. Right? Spiritually, this is our armor. This is something that you have to put on. This is your breastplate, man. This is your sword, right? This is your guards that you put on your wrist, right? Right, come.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 25. And it shall be our righteousness. And we observe to do all these statutes, all these commandments.
So the righteousness is the ways of observing to do the law, statutes, and commandments. What was that verse? Deuteronomy 6 and 25. That's for righteousness. Fine. There's more on that?
Before the Most High our power, as he commanded us.
That's it. You could drop that. So let's go back. Let's jump back. So read verse 8 again.
Verse 8. And to her was granted that she shall be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
So that righteousness, these are the saints that kept the law, statutes, and commandments. These are the ones who strove together to say, look, I got to do the right thing, right? So we got to make sure that we're doing this. These are the true servants of the Most High. Because a lot of people think when they see the word saint, they say, oh, as long as I call in the name of Jesus, I'm a saint. But that's not true, right? There's action that is involved with that, right? Give me Matthew chapter 13, right? Because everybody thinks that, listen, man, the Most High going to save me even if I eat pork. It is what it is. No. When you read Isaiah chapter 66, it talks about the people that were eating rats and pigs. They got burned up in the fire, man. Because people like to say that's not a big deal, like that's not a big offense. Eating pork is a very big offense to the Most High. You are transgressing against the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Willingly doing that.
20 and 14. Which got when Son of Thunder was talking to the sister. She said she believed in every word in the Bible, and he repeatedly read a scripture and said, "Did you believe that?"
Right. I believe what I believe. What does that mean? You just said you believe in the Bible, but now I believe what I believe. You said you believe in the Bible, though. Right? It just goes to show you how hypocritical these people are, right? These people are being hypocrites in their words, man. Right? She just walked up to the camp and said, "I believe every word in the Bible." The brother pulled out, Christ being sent to the children of Israel, and she gets stuck, confounded. It's not how it works, man. They don't get it, right? So read what you got. Matthew 13:47.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net.
It's like a net, right? So imagine, go ahead, read on.
that was cast into the sea.
So imagine, I don't know if anybody in here has been fishing, if they use nets before, right? With the little weights on the end. There's a certain way you gotta cast this net out. There's certain things that happen when you cast the net, right? You're not just gonna pull, when you pull that net back up, you're not only gonna come back up with fish, right? So let's explain that. Keep reading.
And gathered of every kind, which when it was full,
right,
they drew to shore.
Right. So what happens is when you cast this net out, like let's say you got fish in the area that you cast this net. You cast the net out, the weights drop, and you pull it back up fast. When you pull this net back up, the fish that you want to eat, that's not the only thing in that net. You're gonna pull up crabs, you're gonna pull up lobsters, you might pull up like if they're in the large sea on those boats, you might pull up a seal, right? You might pull up a big shark, right? But these are things that were gathered together with the children of Israel, right? So let's see what's going to happen. Read on.
And sat down and gathered the good into vessels, right? But cast the bad away.
So this is just like the kingdom of heaven, man, right? We trying to gather the nation of Israel. Everybody in the nation of Israel, we trying to gather. But when it comes up, when that net comes up to enter into the kingdom of heaven, they're going to cast away the bad and let the good enter. You keep the good and get rid of the bad. It's the same thing as fishing. A lot of times, you know, scriptures compare servants to being fishermen. That's exactly what it is. To be a fisher, it takes strategy, right? It's not just you hook the little fit thing on the hook, you cast it out. That's not how fishing works. You got to know the current, especially if you're in the ocean. You got to know the current. You got to know which way to pull the line. You got to know to let the fish tire himself out. It's the same thing as a servant when we on the streets, man. Right? It's a strategy when you talk to people. Sometimes you got to go high. Sometimes you go low. Right? You got to reel them in, ask them certain questions. It's the same concept, right? So read on.
So shall it be at the end of the world.
So shall this be at the end of the world. Read on.
The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just.
The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just. Right? Because we know that we know that we live among the wicked people, man. Right? We live among people that are contrary to the laws of God. You have people that are in the truth, knowing the truth, and they're just trying to divide the children of Israel.
Right.
They cast lies out there purposely to bring down the nation of Israel. Right? Posing as an Israelite. These are the people that's going to be severed from the kingdom of heaven, be severed from the children of Israel. Because that's not going to be allowed in the kingdom of heaven. Right? These are things we're trying to get away from. Right? So drop that. Let's go back to Revelation. So let's get Revelation, what, 19 and 9? That's where you stop? Yeah, come. Revelation 19 and 9.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 9. And he said unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb.
Right.
And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of the Most High.
So that's matching up perfectly with that parable that was written in Matthew chapter 22. Right? That supper of the marriage. These people, the servants, have been called to the supper, man. They have been called to bid themselves up until the marriage. Right? So read on.
And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant,
right,
and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua.
Right. So who is this that he's talking to, right? Who is this? Why did he say when he bowed down and somebody said, don't do what you're doing, right? So read that again. Let's get understanding.
And I fell at his feet to worship him.
Right. He fell at his feet to worship him. Who's talking to who in this sense? Does anybody know? John talking to right. This is John talking to who? Who? An angel. Right? So read on. Let's see what the angel said.
And he said unto me, See thou do it not.
See thou. What you're doing right now, don't do that, man. Right? You just bow down to worship me. He said, get up, man. Stand up on your feet. Right? Read on.
I am thy fellow servant.
This is an angel saying, I'm thy fellow servant, man. You got to understand that when you're on the God's right side, he sends angels to be your fellow servant. The angels work with you, right? That's why a lot of times we go on the street and we speak boldly. There's a reason we speak so boldly. There's a reason why brothers think we got guns on us and stuff like that. Why? Because we know that the angels are our fellow servants. You can't beat up an angel. Right? You cannot beat up an angel. Angels are stronger than human beings. Right? Read on.
I am thy fellow servant, right? And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua, right? Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
Right, so I guess Catholics forgot about this scripture because, you know, Catholics are the main ones who worship these angels, right? They're the main ones. They say, you know, they worship the archangel, right? Michael. They worship all these angels when the Most High said you shouldn't be doing that. We should not be worshiping anything else than the Most High, right? Now, you can give respect, you can give your reverence, right? But worshiping him, giving him to say, you know what, you created the heavens and the earth, let me bow down to you. No, that's not how this works. We are only to worship the Most High, right? Drop that real quick. Give me Acts chapter 12, verse 14. Let's talk about these angels real quick. Right? Just to get understanding, we do not worship angels, right? Understanding the strength of the angels, what the angels were made for, right? Let's see. Acts 12 and 14.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 12, verse 14. And when she knew Peter's voice,
right,
she opened not the gate for gladness,
right,
but ran in and told how Peter stood before the gate,
right.
And they said unto her,
right,
thou art mad,
right.
But she constantly affirmed that it was even so. Then said they, it is his angel.
It is who?
His angel.
It is his angel, right? So everybody in this room, we have angels that the Most High sends down to protect us, man. Right? Right? When we on the street driving and that car almost clips us from inches, right? From being a bad accident, who was that? That was your angels. That was the Most High sending his angels to watch over you. When we go on the street into the highways and the byways, and we in the worst places that Florida could ever see, right? We don't come out of there just by our own strength. We come out of there because what? The Most High sent angels down. That's why we send up this frankincense, right? This frankincense carries the prayers through what? The angels, man. Right? That's what we have to understand, right? The angels have a lot of, I don't want to say power, a lot of, no, that's not the word I'm looking for, right? They have the ability to save you, right? Through the spirit of the Most High. They are the ones who watch over you for the Most High. Remember, an angel, what is an angel for the Most High? What is the purpose of an angel? No, you said it right. Oh, it's a messenger, right? It's a messenger from the Most High, right? He carries spirits, he carries certain messages, certain things, right? So these angels are encamped around him. Say, truly, it is his angel, right? So drop that. Let's get on Baruch chapter 6.
That's what I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
In verse 15, when they were saying like, when she ran to tell Peter that was at the door, they were saying that she was crazy.
Right.
I thought they meant that she was actually mad. That's funny.
No, that's a good point because sometimes, for example, I forgot who it was. Was that Elijah? When they see the spirit world, right? Certain times, so you see this on the street. You see when we go on the street, sometimes brothers, like when they pour the water on their head and things like that, right? They delusional. They sitting there fighting in the air. You wonder like, who the heck is he fighting? Right. People see people, man. They see things. The Most High sends spirits down, sends angels down, right? This is not false, right? What you got?
You talking about like when people who are like real geeked up?
Yeah, when they like just off a bean or something like that, right? Right. That's the Most High sending those things down there, man. Right. So let's get that. What you gonna do? Go to Baruch chapter 6. Right. Baruch chapter 6. Let's start at verse. Chapter 6 and verse 7.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 6 and verse 7. For mine angel is with you.
What does it say?
For mine angel is with you.
Mine angel is with you. Right? So angels are with us. In this room, that's one of the things we ask that the Most High minister the word unto us. Right? How is he going to do that? Through his angels. Right? Using men. Right? We know that there are angels, things that we cannot see, that the Most High has created to be around us. Right? So read that again.
For mine angel is with you, right? And I myself caring for your soul.
He's doing what?
And I myself caring for your soul.
So these angels are used to do what? Care for our souls, man. They protect us from harm. They protect us from evil. Whenever you go into a fight or you go into the wars, you need the angels to be with you, man. Right? As Israelites, we cannot fight a battle by ourselves, man. You fighting physically, you just gonna get jacked up. You better make sure the Most High is with you. Give me Psalm chapter 34 and verse 7. What is more on that?
It was pretty good.
You can drop that. Yeah, come. You can drop that. Let's get Psalm chapter 34 and verse 7.
So like when, like even in the aspect of like when a fighter, besides it being more like, let's say like regular day fighting, like boxing or UFC, is that like a spirit? That spirit, right?
Absolutely.
It's a spirit that comes over and that makes them so good, especially our people.
Listen, when they say, oh, this brother got heart, right? That's the spirit of the Most High. A lot of these people that they have that, man, right? When you see great fighters and great warriors, most of the time the Most High is doing it. Remember, the Most High is in control of all these things that we're doing, especially when you're great at something like that. All right, so read what you got.
34 verse 7. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 7. The angel of the Most High encampeth round about them that fear him.
It says they encampeth round about them that fear him. And how do we fear the Most High? What is fear according to the Most High? Keeping the commandments, right? So we know if we keep the commandments, the angels shall be around us. If we don't keep the commandments, what happens? Those angels gonna leave you by yourself, or he might send a bad angel to you, right? Let's get that Proverbs 17 and 11, right? He might send that evil messenger, that evil angel, right? This is why this is so important, man. Right? So it says the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. Deliver them from what? Trouble. Deliver them out of harm's way. Right? So read what you got.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 11. An evil man seeketh only rebellion.
An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Right? Read on.
Therefore, a cruel messenger.
A what?
A cruel messenger.
Remember what we said earlier. What is a messenger according to the Most High?
An angel.
Right? He is an angel. Right? When you see a messenger, most of the time that is referring to an angel. So read that from the top again.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17 and verse 11. An evil man seeketh only rebellion.
Right?
Therefore, a cruel messenger shall be sent against him.
A cruel messenger shall be sent against him. An evil angel shall be sent. Right? So that's why we say it's so important to keep the commandments, to love the Most High, because we don't want that evil messenger to come. Right? But a lot of times, because that evil messenger doesn't come right away, and I heard you bring this out at camp, a lot of times when that evil messenger doesn't come right away, that's why they continue to do what they do. A lot of people, they smoke cigarettes, they say, look, man, I've been smoking for the last 10 years. I didn't get cancer yet. But that 11th year, now your time is up. All right, let's see that. Give me Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Now your time is up. Right? You should have never been smoking cigarettes. Because we know when you willingly and knowingly go against the Most High will laugh at you. Everybody understand that, right? The Most High will laugh at your problems when they come. Right? Read what you got.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8 and verse 11.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Right, read.
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is full set in them to do evil.
Right, so that sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. They don't die right away. People that do wickedness, they don't die right away. Just like you said, because we get so much mercy and grace, that's why so much wickedness is in the earth, man. The law is slack. Right?
Ecclesiastes
8 and 11. Right. So you got to think about it. If brothers and sisters were out here getting stoned for going against the law, statutes, and commandments, right? We wouldn't have a lot of this wickedness in the earth. So when we look at that, we understand that was good judgment, right? When the Most High created that, we know by looking at that is good. Now we don't want to push anybody in that situation if they shouldn't be there. But if you willingly were going against the Most High, the law, statutes, and commandments, there's a reason He did that. He made examples out of the people to show you there shall not be any wickedness among the children of Israel. There shouldn't be any people that are contrary to the laws of God, because what? It's only going to get worse. And we see that it's literally going on right now, right? You got one kid saying, "Oh, you know what? I think I'm a boy, but I think I'm a girl." Right? 10 years from now, you will see what's going to happen if we're still here. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Right? You got kids like little Zaza talking about, address him as a girl. Man. These things shall increase in wickedness. The world never went back to righteousness. It's only going to get more wicked from you. Right? But there's also judgment. So read that again. Ecclesiastes 8:11.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily,
right?
Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
The hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil, because that angel didn't come visit you yet. That bad angel did not come here, right? So drop that. Let's get 2 Maccabees 15:22. 2 Maccabees 15:22. Right? And I just want to talk about real quick, what's the purpose of those angels, man? You got good angels, you got bad angels, right? Just like you got the left-hand side, you got the right-hand side, right?
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15.
Was it?
8:11. It's the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 15 and verse, 22? 22. Therefore, in his prayer, he said, after this manner, O Most High, thou didst send thine angel in the time of Ezekias, king of Judea.
All right, so it's saying what? In his prayer, he said that he sent him an angel, man. So sometimes we gotta ask for these things. Lord, send me an angel so I can get by today. Right? Send the angels down so we can beat these people in war. Right? Send your holy and your righteous angels to encamp around us when we go out into the streets, into the highways and byways. Right? Like I always say, people like to think that it's a game when we go out there. People looking from the outside in don't understand the danger we put ourselves in by doing it. Right? In Fort Lauderdale, when we go to Franklin Park, everybody's life is in danger. Every night we go out there at 1 o'clock in the morning, I keep telling brothers, do not take this as a game. Right? Make sure you're clean when you come to camp. Make sure those angels are encamped around us. So if anything pop off, we can all say we made it back to the sanctuary safely. Right? This is very important, man. Right? There are laws for a reason. The Most High set these things up for a reason. Right? And if we don't obey them, we putting ourselves in harm's way, putting ourselves in danger. Right?
That's what I said earlier, that the Bible gives examples of all these things for our learning.
Yeah.
So we know what to do. Right. Examples, every situation, every scenario, it's outlined in the Bible some way, shape, or form, so we can learn from it. So we should have comfort in the scriptures.
And that's why a lot of scripture stuff, it talks about this stiff-necked and impudent children, and just a rebellious children, man. They've been rebelling since our forefathers. This is nothing new. When we go out to the highways and byways, that's how I know we the children of Israel. Right? When you try to speak love into them, and they just come with the hate, they come contentious. Now you got to get contentious with them, right?
A lot of people who come to the truth, they feel like they in a box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the hedge.
Exactly.
That's like a keep outside. You tear it down,
Good
and
point.
you fall in a pit, and now you screaming for the Most High.
That's a good point. Right. This is the Most High. This is our protection. Right. That goes back to Ephesians chapter 6. This is our spiritual protection. Right. Everything is spiritual. Like we have a spiritual eye. Everybody in this room should have that. Right. Being able to discern certain things. Right. By having this protection, it allows us to fight spiritually first, because the spirit leads before it gets physical. Right. I mean, for example, you have somebody about to fight, it's always the spirit that happens first before it gets physical. Right? That's why it's so important for us to control our spirit before it goes that way. Right? What you got?
Psalm 91:11.
Psalms 91. Yeah, let's look at that. Come. Psalms 91:11. All right? I'm gonna read this one more time, right? So 2 Maccabees 15:22 says, therefore in his prayer he said after this manner, O Lord, thou didst send thine angel in the time of Ezekiel, king of Judea. Right? So we know that the Most High can send us angels, man. Right? We know that according to scriptures, from our learning, from what we read, how he dealt with our forefathers, that he sends these angels down. Good angels and bad angels. Right? What you got?
Here's the book of Psalms, chapter 91 and verse 11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
Read that again.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
So what does that mean? He tells his angels what to do with you, man. When his angels go speak to the Lord, he says, look, man, kill that brother, man. I'm tired of this brother acting up. I've been trying to tell him stop smoking cigarettes since he's been 10 years old. He's still smoking. Kill that brother, man. That's how the Most High works. Right? The Most High is not a patty cake God, man. Right? What you got?
If he commanded us to go take out the nations in the land of Canaan, you don't think he tell his angels?
Exactly.
Go take them out. You know what I'm saying? So if he command man to do it, imagine what he tells the angels. But everybody, like you said, in the church, you just see the little white baby with the wings.
Yeah, right.
Come on, you think that baby gonna?
The little Kmart model baby. I already know what you're talking about. Right? That's the picture they paint of the Most High. Right? That's why when you see Christians do whatever they want to do. It's not that they're not learning anything in the scriptures. They learn about it, but they preach that love doctrine so much that they don't understand the other end of it. Right. God, yes, I agree. God is love. God will bless you. Right. God can lift you from the mud and make you ride the high place of the earth. I agree. But what about when you disobey the God?
Right. Exodus 15:3.
Right. What about that? What about the war? Right. What about the Lord of war? Right. It's a fearful thing. Scripture say it's a fearful thing to be in the hands of the Most High. Right? I don't know if anybody's seen the video where I think I talked about it, where the guy's hand got caught in the spinning machine, and his whole body got wrapped up, and his whole body just went everywhere, splattered everywhere. That's the Most High that does that. Right? We got to understand that the Most High can. Matter of fact, let's get that. Give me Sirach chapter 39 verse 28. All right. Sirach 39 and 28.
Yeah. There be movies about in the hands of the Most High. The movie, the series, Final Destination. That's a perfect movie.
That's a perfect Final Destination. I'm glad you brought that up. Right? You got people on a roller coaster, and the coaster just goes straight off the cliff. Everybody did.
The whole point was that they somehow survived when everyone died. Someone survived.
Right.
And the whole time death is chasing you.
At
the Most High, like he doesn't have to do it.
Right? And a lot of our people, listen, I mean, when you go to like places like Franklin Park, it's like they just don't learn.
Right.
They just don't learn. It's like we tell them day in and day out what's gonna happen. They don't hear us, and then the next week somebody else is dead from some type of sin.
Let's try it again.
Let's try it again, right? It's like the movie what was that, Soul Food? Well, I don't know if anybody's seen that, where the guy they were eating the chicken and all of these things, horrible food, slave food. Grandmother died in the hospital. The next Sunday after she died from getting her legs cut off, they go back to eating the same thing again.
That's crazy.
She just died from eating that, right? But that goes to show you how rebellious we are. We look at people, we just walk straight into the pit. You know what I'm saying? We can't be like that, man. All right, so what you want to do? What I call 39 and 28. Come on.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance.
There's spirits that are created for vengeance, man. Right? Read on.
Which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
They lay on the sore strokes, right? These things come from the Most High. Read on.
In the time of destruction, they pour. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force.
They pour out their force. When it's time to destroy, they're gonna pour out their force. Where's that force coming from? The Lord, through the angels, man. Read on.
And appease the wrath of him that made them.
So it says appease. What does appease mean? Please. To please, man. that pleases the Most High. When it forces that destruction out of these spirits, it pleases the Most High. The Most High is rejoicing when he says, look, man, I told you 30 times, stop doing that, and you did it again, kill that boy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We cannot do that. We can't continue to walk in our wicked ways, man. All right, what you got?
That goes with what we read about with David, when Moses sent the angel to destroy Israel with those plagues.
Come on.
And he had to tell the angel to stop.
Come on.
Right.
Exactly, right.
Keep on going.
Exactly.
Or that voice, like you said.
Right.
It happened today.
Right. This is the bitter part of the scriptures, right? Right? I always bring that up. It says, you know, when you first eat the roll, what is it? It's sweet.
Yeah.
You know, it tastes good. You're like, man, this is some good cookies, man. Then you ate it, an hour later, your stomach hurting, right? This is what the Bible is like, right? When you start to understand, it's like, man, these angels are killing people like that, right? If I just don't listen, he's gonna do all these things, right? Read it again.
There be spirits that are created for vengeance,
Right.
which in their fury lay on sore strokes.
Uh-huh.
In the time of destruction,
Right.
they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
Uh-huh.
Fire and hell, and famine and death.
Fire and hell and famine and death. Read on.
All these were created for
They
vengeance.
created for vengeance of the Most High. What is vengeance? Right? Take revenge, that righteous anger, man. Right? He created these things to what? For people that continue to rebel and be wicked, man. Right? A lot of times these brothers and sisters, they've heard the truth, man. Right? Being an Israelite is no secret no more. You have people that know, they pull up, I know y'all Israelites, right? But don't know what we teach you.
Right.
Right? They hear us saying while they're walking away to go to their car, keep the commandments. Keep the commandments. And they still go break the commandments. Forget what them brothers saying. Matthew 22, it says they took it lightly, man. Right? Read on.
Teeth of wild beasts
Uh-huh.
and scorpions,
Uh-huh.
serpents,
Right.
and the sword,
Right?
punishing the wicked to destruction.
All of these things are killing the children of Israel that continue to rebel against the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? God, our Father, told us to do something. There is a punishment that comes along with if we be disobedient. Right? We cannot continue being disobedient children. He will send those angels down to mark us, man. Right? There's more on that? No, that's it. Come on, so drop that. Let's get on the history of Susanna. A couple more on this angel story. All right? History of Susanna. Let's get verse 53. Verse 53.
What's this in what?
History of Susanna. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, read from verse 53. Read that.
It's the book of the history of Susanna, chapter 1,
Yeah,
verse 59,
53.
53. Stop.
Uh-huh.
For thou hast pronounced false judgment,
Right?
and has condemned the innocent,
Right?
and has let the guilty go free.
So what is this talking about? It's talking about you're not holding people accountable for their righteous acts.
Tell me, under what tree sawest thou them companioning together?
Right?
Who answered? Under a mastic tree.
We're gonna see what happened, right? Read on.
And Daniel said, very well, thou hast lied against thy own head.
Daniel said, you lied against your own head. Let's see what's gonna happen. Read on.
For even now, the angel of the Most High hath received the sentence of the Most High to cut thee in
He's
two.
gonna cut him in two. Right? When you see people dying wicked deaths like that, I can guarantee you there's some type of unrighteousness in it. There's some type of wickedness that was going on. When you see a brother hand get caught up like that, right? That's a strength. Give me Job chapter 31. what we call a strange death, man. That's not normal. He didn't just go to sleep and just say, all right, gave up the ghost. No, your whole body splattered everywhere. I gotta say it like it is. These are things we gotta talk about, man. Even with our children, right? Our children need to hear this. They need to literally fear the Most High. If I go left, if I go right, God's gonna kill me. That's what we need to start teaching again. Because there's no fear, man. Right? Scriptures talk about when you don't, like, for example, if you don't fear your father, if you don't fear your mother, man, I don't know what's gonna happen. There was I don't know if anybody watched the Boondocks. There was a little kid that was just a wicked little boy. The one that said, let's smoke cigarettes with my friend. You see, right? And the white, and yeah, it's a real dude. And there was a white man, he said, listen, man, this guy is dangerous for society. He didn't fear nobody. He was just doing what he wanted to do. And he was like 10 years old. He said, we gotta kill this boy. And he was trying to save him. They was like, we understand that by the Bible, though. When you have somebody that don't fear their mom and their father, you're not gonna fear anybody in this world, right? You just a world of destruction waiting to happen. This is what you call a monstrous person, man, right? These are monsters, literally. These are people that they were putting in the congregation and stoning them. That spirit gotta go. Remember what they used to do to the children? Say, you know, we beat the child, we reprimanded him, we chastised him, and he still continues to be wicked. Elders say, you know what? Give us the child. Bring him into the he's dead. Right. That's it for you, man. Put away evil from the because that's an evil thing. He's only going to grow up to become worse. Right. You know what I'm saying? So read what you got. Joel 31:3.
It's the book of Job, chapter 31 and verse 3.
Right?
It is not destruction to the wicked,
right?
And a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity.
Read that part again.
Is not destruction to the wicked.
It's not destruction to the wicked person, the iniquity doers. Right? Read on.
And a strange punishment.
A strange punishment. What does that mean? You die that wicked death. You getting cut into two. That's what Daniel was talking about. He said you lied. You did this to yourself. You lied against your own head. Therefore, God got to send that angel to cut you in two, man. Right? These things happen, right? You see horrible accidents, man, and they getting caught up in these things. Why? Because the Most High sends that angel, man, right? So we never know when the Most High is going to give up on that grace or give that mercy out, right? So we want to make sure we're doing everything in our power on our end to stay on that path, man, right? Stay on that path, right? So it says it's not destruction to the wicked. Read that part again.
And a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity.
And a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity. All these things are done by the angels, the messengers of the Most High. All right? So that's what we got to understand. Let's go back to Revelation real quick. Revelation chapter 19. Where we stop at? Verse 10.
This is the book of Revelation, 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
The testimony of Yahushua, the story that Yahushua gave, that's the spirit of prophecy. Christ already told us what he's going to come back and do, man. Right? He told us what the end of the world. He told us what's going to happen, the kingdom of heaven. Right. All these parables he was speaking. Right. All of these things are matched up with the kingdom of heaven. Right? Read on.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he fell, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. Right? And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war.
Right? Make what?
Make war.
Now, who is this talking about in verse 11? Talking about Yahushua. Now, when it says he's going to come down with a horse, does that literally mean he's going to come out the clouds riding a horse? You know, right? Is it like he's going to be in the Kentucky Derby? Right? That's not what that's talking. What is that horse represent? Chariot. How do we know that? Right? How do we know that? What's some scriptures? Anybody?
Yeah.
You said what? Con, you might be able to go there. Con. Let's see. Go to Job chapter 39 and 19.
Hey, we going to Job.
Listen, Job has some powerful scriptures in it.
Job, which one?
31, let's see, 39 and 19. Slow.
Well,
39 and 19, yes. See what that says, right? So those horses do represent the chariots. These things are made for war, right?
This is the book of Job, chapter 39 and verse 19. Hast thou given the horse strength? Hast thou clothed his neck with thunder? Canst thou make him afraid as a grasshopper?
Right.
The glory of his nostril is terrible.
Right.
He paweth in the valley and rejoiceth in his strength. He goeth on to meet the armed men.
Right. So this chariot, this horse is being compared to a chariot. Right. What does a horse do when it goes to war? Right. It talks about being armed with men. Right. It's not afraid of the terrible noises. It's gonna go where it needs to go. It's gonna go through that valley. Wherever that horse needs to go when they're at war, he's gonna go there. The same thing with the chariots, right? Read on.
He mocketh at fear, and is not affrighted,
right? Meaning he's not dismayed, confounded, right? Read on.
Neither turned he back from the sword.
Right, so these chariots don't turn back from the sword, right? Read on.
The quiver rattles against him, the glittering spear and the shield.
Right, they're gonna be shooting all different types of missiles and things like that when they wage war, right? But they're not gonna be able to do anything against the Most High's chariots, right? These things represent, the horses represent those chariots, right? Same thing what a horse would do when it's in war. Read on.
He swallowed the ground with fierceness and rage.
Right, read.
Neither believeth he that it is the sound of the trumpet.
Right.
He said among the trumpet, ha ha.
Right.
And he smelleth the battle afar off.
Right.
The thunder of the captains and the shouting.
Right. The thunders of the captains and the shouting, man. Right. The horse not afraid of that. These chariots not gonna be afraid of that. They're gonna be like, ha ha. Right. You thought you did something. Right. You shooting a little 9mm at a chariot. What you gonna do to the angel of the Most High, man? What you gonna do against what the Most High has created to be indestructible, man? Disrespectful, right? You can't do anything against that. Read on. What you got?
Cap, I saw a movie just the other day. I chose it spiritually to watch it. It was called War of the World.
I remember that.
And these angels, chariots, was coming down and fighting war with the Marines. And the Marines said, let's go and show them how we do this. And their little AKs are shooting down, spiritual crafts. Making them look like toys.
And you got to understand, do you think the directors who's making these movies, do you think they're just making this stuff up in their head? They get these stories from somewhere. They weren't just sleep and say, I'm gonna make a movie about chariots and Marines. No, they get it from the Bible. This is all prophecy that shall come to pass. Right? Hold on, Barzo, you had something, right? Okay, come. What you got?
Yeah, another great
Zechariah chapter 6 and verse 3.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 6 and verse 3. And the third chariot, white horses.
Read that again.
And the third chariot, white horses.
Perfect precept, huh? All right.
And
the third chariot, white horses. Read on.
White horses. And in the fourth chariot, grizzled, how do you pronounce that? Grizzled and bay horses. Then I answered and said unto the angel, that talked with me, what are these, my Adawan?
Right, so we know that these chariots, once again, our perfect precept, these chariots are represented by what? Horses, right? When it talks about that white horse, this is a chariot that is used to transport Yahushua, right? There was a chariot when we were in the wilderness coming out in Egypt. That was that chariot. Yahushua, right? That cloud. That was that chariot, right? Whenever you see clouds, horses, these things represent chariots, right? Everybody understand that, right? Come on, let's go back to Revelation.
What the heck is that?
Go back to Revelations.
That's crazy.
6 and 8.
19 and verse.
That's
I
crazy.
think we had
13.
yeah.
No, read verse 11. Verse 11. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true.
Called faithful and true. Does that mean Yahushua's name is faithful and true? No. Right? How does it say that? It's just a representation. These are titles that are given to him. All right, read on.
And in righteousness he hath doeth judge and make war.
Do a judge and make war. They think Christ coming back to just hold hands, man. That's not what he's coming back to do. He's coming back to dip his garment in blood. Right? Read on.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
It was as a flame of fire. Why was his eyes a flame of fire?
From wine.
From wine. What scripture is that?
25.
What is it?
Genesis 25.
49. Genesis 49 and what? Who said that? No, it's soldier. Let's get that real quick. Genesis 49 and 10. Right? So we know that his eyes being red was due from the wine, right?
So he's drinking wine on the chariot.
Is it 12? Is it 12? Okay. You said what?
He's drinking wine on the chariot.
It's funny. What is wine? When you drink wine, what does that represent?
The blood of Yahushua.
No. I see where you're going with that. But when you drink wine, why does a person drink wine?
Because they're joyous.
So what?
It makes men happy.
It makes men happy, right? It's bringing you down from a lower state. When somebody's drinking wine, that means they've been in a lower state, right? Because you want to bring your spirits back up, so you drink that wine, right? So Genesis 49.
49 and 12. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk.
And we know that that's talking about Yahushua, right? When we talk about Christ being from the tribe of Judah, right? Pursuant to Hebrews 7 and 14, right? Christ being from the tribe of Judah, it says what? His eyes shall be red with wine, right? So jump back to Revelations.
Verse 12. Revelation chapter 19, verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, right? And on his head were many crowns, right? And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, right? And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
A vesture dipped in blood. Whose blood was that is going to be dipped in? Enemies. Right? Let's see. Give me Isaiah. Hold that. Give me Isaiah 63. Huh?
Bring it up, Captain.
Come on. Let's see. Isaiah 63. Is it 2? Come on. Let's look at it.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 63 and verse 2. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, right? And thy garments like,
start from verse 1.
Verse 1,
right?
Who is that cometh from Edom, right, with dyed garments from Basra, right? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength,
right?
I speak that in righteousness mighty to save.
I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. It says, who is this that's coming from Edom, man? Our main enemy on the earth. They say he's coming out of Edom. Let's see what happens. Read on.
Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel,
His apparel is red. Right? Read on.
and thy garments like him that treadeth in wine fat.
And what does that wine fat represent? What does that red represent? That's that blood. Right? It says his vesture gonna be dipped, man. Read on.
I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me.
So he's gonna do a great and terrible work in this earth, man. See, I'm gonna kill a lot of people, man. And he's doing this where? By coming out of Edom. Right? He's gonna do this to the nation of Edom. Right? Right? This is a cut to Christians, right? That say Christ loved everybody, right? This is a cut to people that don't believe in the New Testament. This scripture goes perfectly with Revelation 19, right? His vesture being dipped in the blood, that wine fat, right? Read on.
For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fear,
right?
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments,
right?
And I will stain all my raiment.
He's gonna stain his whole raiment, man. Think about that. That's what Christ is coming back to do. When we talk about waging war against America, waging war against whoever wants to be contrary to the laws of God, these are the things he's going to do to them. Right? What you got, Steve?
Isn't part of that also the blood of the unrepentant Israelites?
The unrepentant Israelites?
Yeah, because I thought, I don't remember the scripture, but I thought somewhere it says that he would begin with the
house. Yeah, that's Ezekiel. Let's get it. Yeah, let's get that real quick. Ezekiel chapter 9, I believe it is. 9 and 4. Come. No, that's true. Very true. Okay, come. Ezekiel 9 and start at verse 4.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Most High said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem,
right,
and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh.
Now, this is two different types of judgment. This is judgment talking to our people, right? Because people think they're safe because you're in the sanctuary of the Most High. That's not true, right? Because that's why we always say we got to clean house first, man. Scriptures say make sure your house is in order before you go out into the highways and byways, right? We gotta start at home first. Everything starts at home, so that judgment will start here, right? But that judgment that's talking about Isaiah 63, that is specifically talking to Edomites, right? Edom, the nation of Edom, right? Read on.
Sigh and that cry for all abominations that be done in the midst thereof,
right?
And to the others he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite.
Right.
Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity.
Right.
Slay utterly old and young.
Slay utterly old and young. This is the God we serve. It don't matter if you're a 2-year-old baby. It don't matter if you're 6 years old. If you continue being wicked, the Lord will kill you. Right? Read on.
Both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark.
Don't come near anybody who has the mark. What is that mark talking about? That's talking about, what is it? Go ahead. What you got? No. No. That's different. I know where you're going with that, but that's different. What is this mark talking about? What? You have the doctrine of the Most High, the true understanding. Right? You love your brother. You practice these things. You practice righteousness. Right? You did everything you needed to do. Right? This is who the people are going to be have the mark. The elect. Right? Read on.
And begin at my sanctuary.
Right? Begin where?
And begin at my sanctuary.
And who was in his sanctuary? The Israelites. He's going to clean house first. Right? Read on.
Then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house.
They're going to start at the elders now. Because what? The elders are responsible for the children of Israel. That thing comes down in the order. It comes down in the line. Right? He says, start at these elders first. Right? These are the people who have been teaching. These are the people who they either did righteousness or they created some type of confusion in the house of the Lord. Right? Woe to the pastors. Because there's a lot of responsibility that goes onto the people that teach. Right? When you know better and you're a teacher, you're gonna receive more stripes than somebody that didn't teach, right? I don't think people understand it. You got to understand when you step into the seat of being a teacher, a lawgiver, giving understanding and counsel these things, there's a lot that is required of you, right? You got to think about your every action, your every move, because it affects everybody that's under you, right? So as men, as we come up, we got to understand it, because one day you never know, we might be elders, right? We don't want to be the ones getting cut off and slayed off, right? Same thing with our women, our children. We want to make sure that we're always found righteously in the eyes of the Most High. But Con, that was a good question. So that answered your question, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Con, I'll praise you. All right, let's jump back. Let's go back to Revelation. We might just read it straight. Yeah, I don't want to go. I got a couple more. All right, Revelation 19.
This is book of Revelation, chapter 19, in verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, right? On his head were many crowns, right? And he had the name written, and no man knew but he himself, right? And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, right? And his name is called the Word of the Most High.
It's called the Word of the Most High, right? Read on.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon the white horses.
Now, who are these white horses? This is talking about angels. It's not going to only be Yahushua. Yahushua is going to be the commanding general of these angels. He's going to be the one, right? He's going to be the captain. He's going to be the one giving orders, saying, you know what, you go over here, you go over here. We going this way, right?
Yes.
It's going to be angels with him that comes back, right? Read on.
Cloth and fine linen, right? White and clean.
What does it mean to be white and clean? You're holy, right? Good, right? Read on.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword,
right?
That with it he should smite the nations,
right?
And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Right? He's going to rule them with a rod of iron. Meaning what? He's going to do this to a people. This is not just spiritually being done. We're talking about a literal rod of iron, right? Physically, they shall be brought into subjection, right? They shall be destroyed when they wage war against Yahushua and the angels. 28. Come, what that's? Read it. Stand up and read it for me real quick. Psalms chapter 2 and verse 8. Let's look at that. All right.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
Right, so that's perfect right there, man. Right? Ask of thee, he shall give you the heathens, man. Right? They forget all these scriptures that's coming out today, the church has forgot about. Right? They sweep that under the rug. They say, no, we don't want that. Right? I want the smooth part. Where's the smooth part? He shall be blessed. Right? You know, shall a man rob God? Where's that part? Right? What's more? Go ahead.
And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
Thou
shalt break them with a rod of iron.
Shall break them with a rod of iron. The heathens, man. Perfect scripture. All praises. You're going to break them with a rod of iron. This is Yahushua, the angels. Right? And we're going to be helping the angels do this stuff, man. Right? Remember in the book of Obadiah, it says at the hands of Jacob, man. Right? We are Jacob. Right? So read on Revelations.
And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty Most High. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Right.
And I saw.
So this is just an identifier, right? So for example, it's like the pen the brother has on his garment, right? It's just identifying who he is, right? Top commander, right? King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You're gonna know who this is, right? This is Yahushua, right? Read on.
And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great Most High.
All right, so when you go to Matthew chapter 24, it'll tell you what these fowls represent. The fowls represent what? When dead bodies are around, right? They're coming to eat something. There's like hawks flying in the sky. They're just kind of circling. Why? Because there's dead bodies. This is what Yahushua is coming back to do, right? There's going to be dead bodies. Say the fowls going to be preparing themselves, man. Right? Read on.
that ye may eat the flesh of kings and the flesh of
So
captains.
who is he coming back to kill? The flesh of kings, man. The people that run this earth. Job 9:24. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. The people that control the media. The people that control our rap music and continue to push homosexuality, right? And hoardism, right? All of these things, he's coming back to destroy these people. That's the good news, man. That's the good news for us, that we shall be saved and our enemies shall be trodden down, man. Right? Read on.
And the flesh of mighty men. Flesh of mighty men. Men that you thought could never be brought down, man. Powerful men in today's society. Read on. And the flesh of horses and of them that sit on them.
Right.
And the flesh of all men, both free and bond,
Right.
both small and great.
Right.
And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse.
Right, so the entire earth, they're going to try to do what? They don't want us to reign, man. They don't want Yahweh to come back, right? They're going to see that, they say, nah, man, we got to take this down, man. We got to fight back. Why? Because their time is going to be up. They shall go to war with Yahweh, but we already know what's going to happen with that.
Right.
We know who's going to win this battle, right? Read on.
And against his army.
And against his army, right? So a couple of years ago, you had Trump come out and say what? He has a space army. I thought our army was made to fight. So what's in space? What are you trying to fight in space? What's up there?
Right.
Right? You got to think about this. He's talking about he got I don't know if this is a liar now. He says he created vessels that can move at the speed of light. I don't know if anybody understands how fast that is, but that is ridiculously fast. What do you need that fast to fight something up there? Right? Because something's there. Right? Something's there.
And
Right?
even it's still not as fast.
Oh, what you got?
But already admitted right now that all the UFOs that they've had on file said that what existed, the actual UFOs.
Coming.
That's coming out as they're saying that it's real, they're not trying to hide it anymore.
Right, your Pentagon just released that. These are real images that have been taken by the Space Force or the Army of America, and they're saying, man, these things are real. Right? Just confirming what we already know. We don't need confirmation. We already know they're there. We already know. We don't need to see that to know that they're up there. We don't need their confirmation. We already knew that. You showing us something we already knew, man. Right? That's a surprise to you. What you got, sis?
And I think they're showing that just so we can rely on them.
Why you say that?
So that if something is coming, rely on me. So when they go to
Yeah,
martial law,
playing God.
that, come with me, I'll protect you.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. And they're gonna be tricking. Just listen. You have people that wholeheartedly believe in America.
Right.
They believe. I'm talking about they believe. They put all their trust. When they say take the vaccine, right? I don't want to say it on YouTube. When they say take the vaccine, right? People lining up around the hospital, right? Lining up, and you will think certain people that got this thing, you're like, I thought you knew better. Why would you do something like that, right? But you go to see, you start seeing who's the sheep, right? You start seeing who's the followers of this world. The wisdom that has been given to us, I'm not going to say take it or not. You already know the answer to that. That shouldn't even be a discussion, right? We already know the wisdom that's given to us. We know that's not down our alley, right? So let's finish off on this.
Verse 20. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image.
And worship his what?
And worshipped his image.
And worship his what?
And worshipped his image.
These people that worship this image gotta go. If you still believe that this is Christ, right? This image, you and this image gotta go, right? Because it goes deeper than just seeing this and think like it's deeper than this. It's deeper than just seeing it and saying, "Oh, that's Christ." No, there's a lot that comes with that, man. That sits in your subconscious, man. Right? So we gotta make sure we get this image out of our head. This is the devil that the Bible speaks of. This is not our God, and this is not our Christ. Right? Read on.
These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone.
Meaning what? You're gonna die a horrible death. You're gonna die that strange death, man. Right? That's what that's talking about. When that's brimstone comes, you're gonna die a horrible death. Right? You know, being burned up is not. I burned my hand before. I could just imagine all my flesh burning.
Fast.
Right? They're gonna die a strange death, man. Read on.
And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth.
Does this mean an actual sword is coming out of his mouth? Wow. Just judgment, right? All this talking about is judgment, righteousness that's coming from the Most High, right? Read on.
And all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
All the fowls were filled with their flesh. Meaning what? These fowls are made for what? Them dead bodies. Right? So we know when Yahushua come back, he's coming back with these angels, and they're gonna get it popping, man. Right? We just need to do what we need, what the Most High told us to do, and we're good to go. Right? If you're still working, like I say every week, we come here. You're still working on the sin, you're working out some weakness out of your spirit, get that figured out now. This is the time. You never know when this thing gonna start speeding up and go down. Right? So anybody have any questions about what we went over, right? We're good on that? All praises, hallelujah. All right, Con, so let's jump into the portion real quick. I'm not going to pull too many precepts. I'm already taking a lot of time.
Yeah, kind of did.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm excited to see my brothers and sisters, man. That's it.
It's refreshing.
Real quick, about to share. I know, we don't look into dreams too much, but I just gotta share.
Yeah, kind of go ahead.
One time I had a dream, and it was like, I woke up and I was in the clouds, and Yahushua, he was on that same white horse, and he had 4 men, 2 on each side.
Right.
And them boys was like sitting on their horse like this, just looking at him, right? And at the time, I was dealing with fornication a lot.
Right.
And I'm walking to him, because them boys ain't cracking up somebody just like this. So I'm getting closer and closer. Yahushua come off the horse, and he's just looking at me. The horse do this. So I'm scared. I'm like, but I'm walking. So like, he look at me, he let me go past him. But they like in the cloud, they about to go do their work.
Right.
I wake up, I'm like, yo, I'm done. I'm done. I say, I'm done, kid. I'm done with that. I'm straight off that.
The Most High sealed instruction through dreams, man. But let's look at that real quick. Let's look at it. Let's get Job.
Yeah, I got some dreams, some visions for you.
Turner spooky out of sleep.
Verse 5. Hold on.
Got some visions that'll make you not want to go to sleep the next 5 nights.
What? You not lying.
I'm not over
Job 4.
What is it?
Job 4:13.
That's sealed instruction? I'm gonna look for it.
Oh, in thoughts from visions of the night when deep sleep.
Yeah, that's what I want. What is that?
Fear came up.
What's that?
4:13.
Yeah, get that. That's the one I want. So like,
This is the book of Job, chapter 4 and verse 13. In thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men, fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake. Then a spirit passed before my face, and the hair of my flesh stood up.
right?
It stood still, but I could not.
Drop that Salakia. My bad. Job 33 and 16.
Okay.
Start at verse 15. Salakia. I mean, that could match up, but this one, I think, this is
It's the book of Job, chapter 33 and verse 16.
Start at verse 15.
Start
at verse 14. Salakia.
Verse 14.
Come on. Go ahead.
For the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not.
So the Most High sometimes does that mean he just come down and say, hey, stop doing it? No, that's not what that means. Right? You heard something, probably through a servant, through somebody else, and you say, you know what? I ain't hearing that. You didn't perceive it, right? So the Most High will do something to you, right? Read on. Start what? Start at, yeah, we were at 14, but we're gonna get there.
Verse 15, in a dream, in a vision of the night,
Right?
when deep sleep falleth upon men,
Right? In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon man, read
and
on.
slumberings upon the bed,
Right?
then he opened the ears of men,
Right?
and sealeth their
And
instruction.
I've heard stories like that many times, right? Where it just take that vision or that dream, it's like that's not a normal dream, right? You know something is being said to you, right? So in that pride, I'm not gonna go all over, but it says what? When you go to sleep, your pride has been removed. Now instruction can be sealed into you. Sometimes the Most High uses you when you're sleeping to seal that instruction through what? A dream, a vision. Not all dreams are meaningless, right? A nightmare. Right? All these visions you have when you're sleeping, not all of them are meaningless. Some of them have some type of meaning, right? So just like you say, you know, he wanted you in the truth. It took that one dream, and now here you are. The rest is history. Hallelujah. Right? So we got to make sure we understand that the Most High will speak to you through dreams. Right? Come on, so let's get back to the portion now. It's locked. All right, so today's portion is Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 1. To Leviticus 23.
To what?
Leviticus 23.
You said 25 and 1 to Leviticus 23.
Salaki, 27 and 1. My bad.
You did two
What did I
chapters.
say?
You did 1:25 and 1, and Leviticus 27:30.
27:34. Come. Salaki. What did I say the first time?
25 and 1, and you said to 23 and 1.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Salaki.
I was like, I didn't know scriptures go.
My bad,
Verses
my
go
bad.
backwards.
Salaki. You funny, y'all. All right, let's get.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Most High.
All right, so one of the things we got to learn is that we're not the only ones that got to keep a Sabbath. The land has to keep a Sabbath too, right? The whole land got to keep a Sabbath too, right? Right, read on.
Verse 3. And 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof.
Right.
But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for the Most High.
Right.
Thou shalt neither sow thy field, nor prune thine vineyard.
Right, so you can't plant anything, right? You can't do anything with the land at this point, right? Read on.
That which groweth of its own accord of thy harvest thou shalt not reap,
Right.
neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land.
Right. So when you talk about the Sabbath of the land, why was the Sabbath of the land created? You got to understand. Matter of fact, I will wait to say that. Go, keep reading.
Verse 6. And the Sabbath of the land shall be meat for you, for thee and for thy servant, and for thy maid, and for thy hired servant, and for thy stranger that sojourneth with thee, and for thy cattle, and for the beasts that are in thy land, shall all the increase thereof be meat.
Right. The increase of the field shall be meat. Right. Read on.
And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years.
Right.
And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years.
49 years. All right. Read on.
Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the seventh month.
Right. Read on.
And the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land.
Right. So it's talking about the year of Jubilee. Has anybody understood what the Jubilee means yet? Forgiveness.
A year release.
A year of release, right? But the Most High, everything the Most High does, He creates a way to get out. For example, they're going to go through some laws about the year of Jubilee and what's supposed to happen. The Most High always gives you a chance to reset, right? To reset is a big deal. In America, you can't reset. It's like once you mess up your life, you finish, man. 3-strike rule, you finish.
Unless you Esau.
Right? Exactly. Unless you're Esau, right? Your credit finished, man. It's hard to get your credit back up, man. Right? You know, it's a difficult task that can be done, but it's not like, for example, when you do when you have something on your credit, how long does it usually last on your credit?
7 years.
7 years. Right? This is going to the same thing. Where do you think they get all of these things and these ideas from? Right? And they gotten smart. America has gotten smart where they'll do what? After the 7 years, they sell the debt to somebody else, and now they hold it for another 7 years. So now it just doesn't disappear now, right? So these are things that they're all learning from the scriptures. But the Most High always gave us a way out when we were living in righteousness. All right, read on.
Verse 10, and after ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof.
Right.
It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family.
All right, so everything you have in somebody else's possession, that Salaki, let me say that properly. If you have something that belongs to somebody else, right, you have to release that. Right? Let's say you have a debt with some person, you have to release that. Right? You can't keep holding on to that debt. Right? Read on.
Verse 11. A jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you.
Right.
Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of it in itself in it,
Right.
nor gather the grapes in it of thy vine undressed.
Right.
For it is the jubilee.
It is the jubilee.
It shall be holy unto you.
Right.
Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field.
You eat the increase out of the fields. Read on.
In the year of this jubilee, ye shall return every man unto his possession.
Right. Read.
And if thou sell aught unto thy neighbor, or buyest aught of thy neighbor's hand,
Sell anything or buy anything from your neighbor's hand. Read on.
ye shall not oppress one another.
That's a law that we forgot to have, man. Because I mean, even now, it's like usury in the nation of Israel is not appropriate for us to do. That is against the law, statutes and commandments. Right. We are not to use interest when we loan out somebody money. Right? You got to understand, when you look at the so-called Jews, right? They don't charge their people for certain things because what? They read the Torah. The Torah tells them not to do that. Right? So if we understood economics, this is all practiced in nation economics, man. Right? When you talk about usury, you cannot charge your own people. Imagine you already don't have it, and then you're gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna charge you an extra $1,000 for that. You can't do that. It's against the laws, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 15. According to the number of years after the jubilee, thou shalt buy of thy neighbor, and according unto the number of years of the fruits, he shall sell unto thee.
Right.
According to the multitude of years, thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years, thou shalt diminish the price of it.
Right. So when you talk about raising the price or lowering the price, depending on what part of the year it was, closer or further away from the Jubilee, the prices of food and stock would change. Right. So read on. Read that part again. Read verse, what was that, 16?
Yeah, verse 16.
Right.
According to the multitude of years, thou shalt increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years,
so the closer it gets to the Jubilee, right? Read on.
The fewest of years, thou shalt diminish the price of it. For according to the number of the years of the fruits doeth he sell unto thee. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another,
right?
But thou shalt fear the Most High. For I am the Most High your power,
right?
Wherefore ye shall do my statutes and keep my judgments and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety, and the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill and dwell therein in safety.
Right. So it's important to understand here that the Most High always gave us our increase from the land. Right? We needed the Most High to bless the land for us to get proper food. right? To be sufficient enough to eat, right? Read on.
And if ye shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow, nor gather in our increase.
Right?
Then I will command my blessing upon you in the sixth year.
Right? So he said he will bless the children of Israel in that 6th year, the land, right? Read on.
And it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years.
The Most High is very smart. He was very strategic. Everything he did, he had a plan to. Right? Read on.
And ye shall sow the 8th year,
Right?
and eat yet of old fruit until the 9th year.
Right, so he's going to give you 3 years worth of food, and you're going to eat that up until the 3rd year. Right? Read on.
Until her fruits come, and ye shall eat of the old store. The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine.
So you see that? The Most High said the land can never be sold forever. What they used to do, Israelites fall into a bad spot. They will sell the land, right? Get some money to get back up on their feet, but that land has to go back to whoever it belonged to, right? In the 7th year.
Wow.
Right? Read on.
So crazy. For ye are strangers and sojourners with me,
right?
And in all the land of your possession, ye shall grant a redemption for the land.
Right? You should grant a redemption for the land. Read on.
If thy brother be waxen poor and have sold away some of his possession,
right?
And if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold.
So if his brother or somebody that was related to him came and said, you know what, let me help my brother out, I want to get that back. You got to give it back to him, right? You got to give it back to him, right? Read on.
And if the man have none to redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it, let him count the years of the sale thereof,
right?
And restore the overplus unto the man to whom he sold it.
Right? So let's say
the Native American Indians.
Right? The same example, right? They would have to pay up for those 7 years, that price will start going down that he has to pay back. So for example, every 7 years, let's say I bought a jacket or I got a jacket from you, right? You want it back in the 3rd year. You start deducting the years according to what the jacket is worth, if that makes sense, right?
Depreciation.
Right, depreciation. Thank you. That's the best word for it, depreciation. You pay back what you've already used it for, right? So all these things we're practicing economics for the children of Israel. To do what? Keep us from being poor.
Right? Can I bring up that one point, Captain? Here, the Most High is showing that the land is to be used and be fruitful for 7 years, right? For 6 years.
6 years, yes.
And on that 7th year, let it rest.
Right.
And so Exodus 20:8, the Most High is saying, work, hustle, do whatever you need to do for 6 days.
Right.
On that 7th day, rest. So he's allowing the body to rest, and he needs the land.
Absolutely, right, absolutely. Because we come from the dust. All these things are synchronized with each other. Like we have to understand, like nature, we are in sync with nature. That's why we talk about the medicines from the earth, right? They're herbs. These things, the spices were used to heal us, man. Right? Because what? We were created from the earth. So we're on the same type of plan. The earth got to rest, and the children of Israel has to rest.
Same rhythm,
right? Same rhythm, right? Read on. Good point,
Verse 28. But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that has bought it until the year of Jubilee. And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession.
So you got to give that jacket back after the 7th year. You got to use the jacket. Now you have to give it back in that 7th year. Give him back what he bought, right? Read on.
And if a man sell a dwelling,
so it's kind of like you're renting it out. You know what I mean? You got some money for it, so you can do what you need to do. That 7th year, it has to return back up onto you. But is this with all purchases of anything?
Or you were mainly for?
If I were to sell you that jacket, that 7th year, if I need that back, remember it says the redemption. If I need that back, if I want to redeem it, you have to give it back. Okay. Right. So read on.
But verse 28. But if But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that hath brought it until the year of Jubilee.
Right.
And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession.
Mm-hmm.
And if a man sell a dwelling house in a walled city, when he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold, within a full year may he redeem it.
Right.
And if it be not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him that bought it throughout his generation.
Right. So this is an area. This is not talking about the land that was given as an inheritance. Right. This is a walled city. Right. This is controlled by whatever else. Right. So he's saying if you sell a house and he wants to get it, you have 1 year to redeem that house. If it passed up on that year, he's allowed to keep that house. Right. Read on.
Verse 30. And if it be not redeemed within a space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him that bought it throughout his generations. It shall not go out. It shall not go out in the Jubilee.
It shall not go out in the Jubilee. Right. When Jubilee come around, you don't have to give it back. Read on.
But the houses of the villages, which have no wall round about them, shall be counted as the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall go out in the Jubilee. Mm-hmm. Now, notwithstanding the cities of the Levites and the houses of the cities of their possession, may the Levites redeem at any time.
Right, so when it says notwithstanding, it says this law does not apply to the Levites. If the Levites need their stuff back, you have to give it back at any time. They were allowed to redeem it. There were different commandments for the Levites. There's a different set of rules that the Levites had to follow. All right, read on.
Verse 33. And if a man purchase of the Levites, then the house that was sold and the city of his possession shall go out in the year of Jubilee. For the houses of the cities of the Levites are their possession among the children of Israel.
Right.
But the field of the suburbs of their cities may not be sold.
Right, because this was given to them for a perpetual thing, right? Because the Levites had a special job in the nation of Israel. They needed their land. They needed a spot for them to go. They were never able to sell their land, right? In the suburbs, right? Read on.
For it is their perpetual possession, right? If thy brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger.
Right? Is this talking about Esau? No. This is talking about Israelites, your brother, right? What does a stranger mean in this context? A person who's far off. He's far off. He's far away. It's a person that's foreign, right? Read on.
Or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Mm-hmm. Take thou no usury of him, or increase.
What does that mean? Take thou no increase or usury. Don't tax that. You can't tax him. You can't say, no, I need the interest now. No, you got to give time for your brother to get back on his feet, right? If we all practice this, man, we would be in a very good spot, but we don't practice this now, right? Your brother fall down, you say, man, I need $1,000. He don't have it, right? And you're going to make him owe you after he gets back. No, that's not how this goes, right? Read on.
Nor lend him thy victuals for increase,
right?
I am the Most High your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your power,
right?
And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxing poor and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant.
What is a bond servant? A slave, right? Read on, right?
But as an hired servant, as a sojourner, he shall be with thee and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee.
Right, so it's more like a worker. A slave and a servant were two different things, right? A slave is somebody you could beat them, all type of stuff. Remember they told the slaves to be obedient to their masters, right? A servant was more like an employee, right? He's doing things around the house. He's helping out in the fields, right? Read on.
And then he shall depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, unto the possession of his fathers shall he return.
Right, so he at the year of Jubilee, it's time to go. Read on.
For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen.
Right.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear the Most High thy power.
So you can't be treating him like he's an enemy, man. There's a certain way you gotta treat your brother. He's saying, listen, man, you can't rule over your brother with harshness, right? Treat your brother with some love and respect, man. There was a different set of rules for how we treated our brother and how we treated the heathen, the strangers. Right? Read on.
Both thy bondmen and thy bondsmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen.
Shall be of who?
Shall be of the
They
heathen.
shall be of the heathen. Right? I thought God made everybody equal. Right? Read on.
That are round about you.
Right?
Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondsmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you,
right?
Of them shall ye buy,
right?
And of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance.
As a what?
And ye shall take them as an inheritance.
So we had heathens as an inheritance. We forget about that. We had heathens as an inheritance. These people were passed down to our children. If we were to die, they belong to our children.
That's crazy.
Right? They did the same thing to us. Everything reversed itself, man.
That's crazy.
See, we fell a long way. We forgot about what really happened. Right? The Most High said this is a righteous thing. There's a reason. These people were made to do what? Serve the children of Israel.
Right.
Just like we serve the Most High, they should be serving us. But because we forgot to serve the Most High in righteousness, he said, now I'm gonna make you serve your servant. I'm gonna make you serve your enemies. Right? All of these things reverse on us. So to get back to this, because I want this. Right. I don't know about y'all. I would love to have this.
I want that.
Wake up in the morning, the house clean.
Right.
The grass is cut, and go clean the bathroom. Right? Bathroom clean, my car is washed. You just come home, you just kick it. Can I have a glass of water? No, get me a glass of water. How about that? Right. I would love that.
Where's my water?
Where's my water? I like that, right?
Don't bring my car out.
Right.
I'm going out. I'm about to go to Kadash house.
Right. We forgot about this though, man. This is where we want to get back to, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful thing to have. Shake it, right? Read on.
And ye, verse 46, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession.
Man,
they shall be your bondmen forever.
Bondmen forever. But we forgot, man. The Most High promised us something great, and we left that behind. Right. When I think about it, I'm like, man, I thought we went off, man. We went off. We had everything we needed. We had heathens as an inheritance to work for us for free. Oh, man. And you decided to do what? Worship a golden calf. Right? It's backwards, man. Right? This is why we gotta push this. We gotta push these commandments harder, man. Push being an Israelite harder so we can get up out of this captivity. Because I want to get back to it.
I want possession. I want inheritance. I want my inheritance.
All right, read on.
After you to inherit them for a possession, they shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. And if a sojourner or stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwelleth by him wax poor, and he sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family, verse 48, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him.
Right.
Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him. Or if he be able, they may redeem himself. Verse 50. And he shall reckon with him that bought him for the year that he was sold to him unto the year of Jubilee.
Right.
And the price of his sale shall be according unto the number of years, according to the time of an hired servant shall it be with him.
Right.
And if there be yet many years behind, according to them, he shall give again the price of his redemption out of the money that he was bought for.
Right, so you got to give a portion of the money back, right? Read on.
And if there remain but few years unto the year of Jubilee,
Right.
then he shall count with him, and according unto his years, he shall give him again the price of his redemption.
Right, so we talk about that depreciation. It's the same thing, right? Read on.
And as a yearly hired servant shall he be with him, and the other shall not rule with rigor over him in thy sight. And if he be not redeemed in his years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he and his children with him. For unto me the children of Israel are servants.
Right.
They are my servants,
Right.
whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Most High, your power.
Why does the Most High keep repeating the same? Why does he say that over? He said, I am the Lord thy God.
To constantly remind Israel.
Absolutely. Stiff neck.
We need to be reminded.
Exactly. He wants you to know, listen, you're not in control here. I am. You do what I say. I am the Lord. You're not the Lord. Right? He says, you, Israel, is my servant. Right? He says, I am the Lord, your God, thy God. Right? So we got to understand that as well. So read on.
Verse 26. Chapter 26. Ye shall make you no idols nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am the Most High, your power. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Most High.
Right.
If ye walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then I will give you rain in due season,
Right.
and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
Right.
And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage,
Right.
and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time,
Right.
and ye shall eat your bread to the
So
full.
what does that mean? It says, listen, man, I'm going to give you rain. I'm going to give you the seeds. All of these things are going to be connected to each other. And then after all of these things I blessed you with, then you shall reap. Then you're going to be able to eat these things, right? Read on.
And dwell in your land safely.
Right.
And I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid.
That's a beautiful thing. That's what we want too, man. We want to be able to drive to the corner store without our heart dropping in our stomach because the police pull us over, right? We want to be able to go places and understand things that are not detrimental to our well-being.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of us out here, man, we live in this every day, right? People are really afraid, right? Because what? We in that captivity. What you said? You know what I'm saying?
Con.
You know what I mean?
For real.
Con. Absolutely, right?
Go up there later,
Right? Read on.
No, it's fine.
Loud. Read on.
And I will give peace in the land, and ye shall lie down, and none shall make you afraid. And I will rid evil beasts out of the land.
Right.
Neither shall the world go. Oh, slacking. Every beast out of the land, neither shall the sword go through your land.
Right.
And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the
So
sword.
what does this mean? It wouldn't be no George Floyd's, man. It wouldn't be any Trayvon Martins walking around, right? We wouldn't have Tamir Rice and Sandra Bland's, right? These are truly curses that the Most High said. If you don't keep my commandments, all these things gonna continue to happen to y'all, man. Right? Absolutely, right? Read on.
Verse 8.
Right.
And 5 of you shall chase
He
100.
said only 5 of us is gonna chase 100. When we were in slavery, he reversed that. Right? Think about a plantation. They had 5 people managing 100 slaves. How is that possible? Right? Read on.
And 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight.
Only 100. It only took 100 of us to make 10,000 people run. Because what? We had the spirit of the Most High with us. Read on.
And your enemy shall fall before you by the sword.
Right.
For I will have respect unto you,
Right.
and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. And ye shall eat old store,
Right.
and bring forth the old because of the new.
Right. You're gonna have so much, right? You're gonna have the new coming in before you could get the old. Right? Read on.
And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you.
Right?
And I will walk among you, and will be your most high, and ye shall be my people.
Right?
I am the most high, your power.
There it goes again. It says, man, I am the Lord your God. Right? Read on.
Which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt,
Uh-huh.
that ye should not be their bondmen, and I have broken the bands of your yoke,
Right.
and made you go upright. But if you will not hearken unto me, and I will and will not do all these commandments,
Mhm.
and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you.
Right?
I will even appoint over you terror.
We know that's what he does, man. He has appointed terror over us. Right? We don't know what's going on, man. Read on.
Consumption
Mm-hmm.
and burning of you
Right?
that shall consume the eyes
Right?
and cause sorrow of heart.
Right?
And ye shall sow your seed in vain,
Right?
for your enemies shall eat it.
Is that not a true statement? Do we not do this right now? Didn't we build America and we don't take none of the benefits for it? Right? Don't we suffer number one? I took a class in college, and one of the things that they said is that, blacks and Hispanics, right, they're number one for every disease. When you talk about heart disease, high cholesterol, diabetes, right? All of these things, we are number one. Stroke, these are the things that he was talking about, the plagues, the consumption. We are number one for everything that's bad, man.
Everything that's bad.
Everything that's bad.
And the number of lacks and everything that's bad.
Exactly, right. Come on, read on.
Verse 17.
Mhm.
And I will set my face against you,
Right.
and ye shall be slain before your enemies, that they that hate you shall reign over you,
Right.
and ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
See, when nobody's pursuing you, man. Right? Terrified. Read on.
And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins.
He said he's going to punish you 7 times more than what he's listed here. That's pretty bad, man.
Very bad.
Right? 7 times more than that. Read on.
I will break the pride of your power,
Right?
and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass.
And he's not going to listen to nothing you got to say when you get caught up in that jam. Right? He's not listening to your prayers. If he told you not to do something, you shouldn't have done it. Right? That goes with Proverbs chapter 1. Right? He told you beforehand, stop doing it, and you continue to do it. It says, now what? The earth shall be brass. The heaven shall be brass. Right? Read on.
Your strength shall be spent in vain. Your land shall not yield her increase. Neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits.
Right.
And if you walk contrary unto me and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your
That's
sins.
exactly what he did. Read on.
I will also send wild beasts among you,
Right.
which shall rob you of your children and destroy your cattle and make you few in number. And your highways shall be desolate.
Right.
And if ye will not be reformed by me, by these things, but will walk contrary unto me,
Right.
then I will also walk contrary unto you.
That's the most high is powerful, man.
He is not playing.
He's not playing around. He said, you wanna go against me, I'm gonna go against you. Let's see who wins. You can't beat the most high.
Can't stop us.
Right? What's the old saying? Your arm's too short to box with God.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You can't fight the most high. You need the most high on your side, right? Read on.
And will punish you yet 7 times for your sins.
Right?
And I will bring a sword upon you
Right?
that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send a pestilence among you,
Right?
and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemies. And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat and not be satisfied.
Right?
And if ye will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me,
Right.
I will walk contrary unto you also in fury. And I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. And I will destroy your high places and cut down your images.
What does that mean? We're going to just be destroying each other, man. Right? We're just going to destroy each other. When it says that the Most High is going to chastise us 7 times more, all of these things that we are going through as a people is a result of what? Not listening to the Most High. Right? Everything we're going through right now is what he's talking about in Leviticus chapter 26. Yes.
These conditions sound identical to
Deuteronomy 28.
Oh, yeah, come on.
I just said that.
Yeah, some of the curses are listed in Leviticus. Absolutely. Right? You walk contrary unto the Most High, you're going to walk contrary unto us. And right? Eating the flesh of your children. Right. And the one I keep seeing and hearing, what he's reiterating is that he's going to punish us 7 times more. Each time is 7 times. Like so imagine you hear that and then it says, no, that's not it. 7 times. Times that by 7. You can't even fathom that. Right? You're going to be destroyed. Come on. So read on.
Verse 30. And I will destroy your high places and cut down your images and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols. And my soul shall abhor you.
He said, my soul gonna abhor you, man. The spirit gonna hate you. Read on.
And I will make your cities waste and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. And I will not smell the savor of your sweet odors.
What does that mean? It says he's gonna make desolate the sanctuary. I mean, at one point we didn't have sanctuaries, right? We were considered as a sanctuary. We didn't have this before, right? As we continue to grow, now you start seeing little schools popping up where we are. But it says that sanctuary was desolate. There was nobody speaking the truth. There was nobody going against the wickedness in the earth, right? As we start to keep the commandments, the Most High slowly starts giving us these things back, though, right? And it should not be taken for granted, right? People may think, oh yeah, we're gonna like read the Bible in somebody's living room. That's not what this is, right? We treat this as a sanctuary that the Most High provided us with, right? We could be out in the sun. We could be, not gathering together. We could be on Zoom, but the Most High has given us a place to worship and gather. That should be taken, into account. Give thanks to the Most High for that, right? Read on.
Verse 32. And I will bring the land into desolation, and your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you. And your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Right. Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbath, as long as it lieth desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbath.
Right, it say you're gonna get punished, but I'm not gonna punish the land. The land is gonna enjoy that Sabbath, whether you're there or not. Right? Read on.
As long as it lieth desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths when ye dwelt upon it.
Because we didn't give the land rest, right? Read on.
And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts, in the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaking leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursue it.
We've seen this a lot. When you watch these old slavery movies and things that we used to go through, you'll see a brother in the woods and a little leaf will just shake, and he's fighting, right? These are real accounts that our people went through, man, right? These are real things that we had to deal with, right? Read on.
Verse 37. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, and when none pursue it. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies.
We have no power to fight back, right? Like I said, we've tried everything. Remember, it says no man shall buy you. It's the same thing. We have no power before our enemies. You try to create Black Lives Matter, doesn't work. You try to create any type of organization, doesn't work. You're going to have to come back to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You tried everything else but keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Read on.
Verse 38.
Right?
And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up.
Right?
And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity, in your enemies' land, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall thy pine away with them.
Right?
And if they shall confess their iniquity
Right.
and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass,
Right.
which they trespass against me,
Right.
and that also they have walked contrary unto me,
Right?
and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humble, and then they accept the punishment of their iniquity,
Right.
then I will remember my covenant with Jacob.
Then he will remember the covenant with Jacob.
Yeah, you gotta accept what you did and what your
Exactly. What your father. That's why sometimes when you hear me pray, I say, listen, man, I pray that you forgive our forefathers for their sins. Blot out their iniquities. Because the Most High takes all of these things into account. Right? Blot out my father's iniquities, blot out my iniquities. Why? Because these things go down the line. Right? Absolutely.
That's
Right. The first thing he said, what? If they shall confess their iniquity. Confess it. Power. There's power in words, man. Right? We went over a class about that a couple of weeks ago. There's power in your tongue. Right? So when you confess that, you say, you know what? I'm going to confess my sins, convert my ways, and repent rightfully. Then I know the Most High will remember that covenant that he established with us. Right? You have something to say?
No, I was just saying because the Most High does punish your sins onto your children.
Yes, absolutely. And we see that happen up until this day. We see that happen all the time.
You don't know what the criminal child might be playing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just like we talked about the brother from Chicago, right? That his daughter died for what he did, right? She didn't have nothing to do. She was just at McDonald's trying to get a kid's meal. And then, boom, the Most High got that ordained. Yes.
Yeah, I heard he used her as a shield.
Right. Oh, that's
He
wicked.
used her as a shield.
That's some wicked stuff. Why? How you use your daughter? I don't know. Israelites, we do not do that. Israelite men, we do not use our daughter as a shield. Right. That's wicked. Right, read on that.
Verse 43. The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Sabbath, while she lieth desolate without them, and they shall accept the punishment of their iniquity, because they despise my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes, and yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. Right. For I am the Most High, their power, because I will, for their sakes, remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am the Most High. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Most High made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses.
Right, these are the statutes and judgments which he gave. He gave these things before it even happened. He said, if you walk contrary unto me, all of these bad things are going to take place. Right? Times 7. Everything I'm telling you is going to be times 7 of that. Meaning it's going to completely take you over. And we see that till this day. The mindset of our people are destroyed. Right? What we're doing right now is extremely important, man. Right? This should not be taken lightly. Just us gathering for the Sabbath is extremely important. Scriptures say, gather thyself together, O nation not desired. Why? So we can get it together, if that makes sense. Right? We got to make sure that we all holding each other accountable. Right? That's why I tell you, brothers and sisters, make sure you're reaching out to each other. Make sure your brother is good. Make sure your sister is good. This is not an all for one, man. Right? We are not individuals. We are a nation of people. You just had if you had a couple of people going off, a lot of people in Israel will get charged with that, man. Right? That's like when they found the thing in the tent. Right? He said, who stole it? Right. The Israelites were getting slaughtered because one person decided to take the victual. I forgot exactly what it was. Right? But Israel was getting slaughtered. That's how the Most High looks at us. He judges us as a nation. Right? So we got to push for that. Right? Come on, chapter 27, last chapter.
chapter 27. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When a man shall make a singular vow, the persons shall be for the Most High by thy estimation.
Right.
And thy estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old, even unto 60 years old.
So if there was a vow that was made, there was some money involved in this too that they had to give to the Levites. Right? Read on.
Even thy estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver.
Right.
After the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be a female, then thy estimation shall be 30 shekels.
Right.
If it be for 5 years old, even unto 20 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. And if it be for a month old, even unto 5 years old, then thy estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver. And for the female, thy estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver.
Right. So when you look at this, you'll realize that when the male would give a vow, right, there was a lot more involved than when a child would do it. Why is that? Right? Why did the males have to pay more money? Because those vows hold a much higher weight. Think about it, right? When we communicate with the Most High, remember what I was saying earlier. A lot of these things that happen, a man is responsible for a lot of things, right? Just like his household, his children, his wife, right? This man do something wrong in his house, everybody gonna pay in the house, right? Sometimes when the woman makes a decision, it doesn't affect everybody like when a man makes the decision. So it's going into the same thing. That man's vow holds a much higher weight, right? Read on.
Verse 7. And if it be from 60 years old and above,
right?
If it be a male, then the estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. But if he be poorer than thy estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, right? And the priest shall value him according to his ability. That vow shall the priest value him.
Right.
And if it be a beast whereof men bringing an offering unto the Most High, all that any man giveth of such unto the Most High shall be holy. He shall not alter nor change it.
Right.
A good for a bad,
right?
Or a bad for a good.
So it's saying if you made a vow, you got to stick to that vow, right? You cannot change your vow, right? Read on.
And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then it and the exchange thereof shall be holy. And if it be any unclean beast of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto the Most High,
right,
then he shall present the beast before the priest, and the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad. As thou valuest it, who art the priest, so shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a 5th part thereof onto thy estimation.
Right, so if he would come back to get this piece of animal that he gave him, he would have to give a 5th part, meaning what? 20%. Right? Read on.
And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto the Most High, then the priest shall estimate it, where it be good or bad, as the priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. Right. And if he that sanctified will redeem his house,
right,
then he shall add the 5th part of the money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be his.
Right.
And if a man shall sanctify unto the Most High some part of a field of his possession, then thy estimation shall be according to thy seed thereof. And homer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver.
Right.
If he sanctify his field from the year of Jubilee, according to thy estimation, it shall stand.
Right.
But if he sanctifies his field after the Jubilee, then the priest shall reckon unto him money according to the years that remain, even unto the year of the Jubilee, and it shall be abated from thy estimation.
Right, goes right back into that depreciation. So anytime you made a vow, whether you're using money, whether you're using the animals, whether you're using a house, right? Read on.
And if he that sanctified the field, well, will in any wise redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part of money of thy estimation unto it, and it shall be assured to him. And if he will not redeem the field, or if he have had sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed anymore.
Right.
But the field, when it goeth out in the Jubilee, shall be holy unto the Most High as a field devoted. The possession thereof shall be the
The
priest.
possession thereof, if a field was given to the Levite, it shall belong to the Levite. Right? That vow that they made a promise using that field, it was given to the Levites. Right? Read on.
And if a man sanctify unto the Most High a field which he hath bought, which is not the fields of his possession, then the priest shall reckon unto him the word of thy estimation, even unto the year of the Jubilee.
Right. So it's always estimated based on the year approaching the Jubilee. Right? Read on.
And he shall give thine estimation in that day as an holy thing unto the Most High.
Right.
In the year of the Jubilee, the field shall return unto him of whom it was bought, even to him to whom the possession of the land did belong. Verse 25, and all thy estimation shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel.
Right.
Only the firstling of the beast, which should be the Most High's firstling, no man shall sanctify it, whether it be ox or sheep. It is the Most High.
All right, so these are units of measurements when you look at chapter 20, verse 25. All right, I just wanted to let y'all guys know that. Read on.
Verse 27. And if it be of an unclean beast, then he shall redeem it according to thy estimation, and shall add a fifth part of it thereunto. Or if it be not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to thy estimation.
Right.
Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that the man shall devote unto the Most High of all that he hath, both of a man and beast, and of the field of his possession,
Right.
shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto the Most High.
Everything that is given to the Most High has to be holy. Right. Read on.
None devoted which shall be devoted of men shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or the fruit of the tree, is the Most High. It is holy unto the Most High.
Right.
If a man will redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add thereunto the fifth part thereof.
Right.
And concerning the tithe of the herd or the flock, even of whatsoever passeth under the rod,
Right.
the tenth shall be holy unto the Most High. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed.
This just means what? You can't change your vow. You can't change what was originally said. Let's say you change that vow, you're gonna have to keep both of those vows at that point. All right, what you got?
About having sheep and goats, like that you can't eat the something like that. Or what if you have a pet pig?
A pet pig?
Yeah.
What are you asking? Can you eat that?
No.
Is it clean?
Like,
Is it okay to have a pet pig?
Yeah. Or is it that?
Well, it does say if you read verse hold on one second.
Because some people actually own possess pets.
Right.
Other people can, but we can't.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not sure about that. I thought it referred to that.
When it says we can't even touch the dead carcass.
The carcass.
Right.
But if it's alive, you can touch it. That's the thing.
That's true.
When it's alive, you can touch it.
Yeah,
When it's dead,
you can use it for
can't
its
touch it.
purpose. Right. Yeah. So, for example, like you talk about unclean animals such as like the camel, we rode camels, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean, that doesn't say you can't touch it. It's like, that animal is not made to be eaten. When it's dead, you cannot be touching the carcass. It does not want pigs, you do not even touch the dead body. You gotta let that be. You understand? There's a little difference for pigs. Camels, you would be still considered unclean, but for pigs, it clearly says, do not even touch the carcass. It's an abomination, right? But as far as the brother's question,
Is it okay for it to get pet?
oh, that's what you're asking?
Yes.
Oh, come on. I mean, I wouldn't. Yes, I wouldn't do that, but I guess if you see fit to it, you want a pig? I don't know. That's not breaking the commandments.
Last verse, verse 34. These are the commandments which the Most High commanded Moses for the children of Israel in Mount Sinai.
So there's laws on redeeming property up until the year of Jubilee. There's laws on the lands, the Sabbath that's given to not only us, but the lands, how we sow, when we should be sowing, not using usury on our brothers, right? What's some other things we learned? I'm giving y'all all the answers. What else did we learn?
We learned the word Jubilee.
Right.
Releasing of debt. We
Right.
learned, as you mentioned, not giving usury to your brother, which is charging on interest. Or consequences for not.
Every 7 times more. That's important to remember.
Accepting and asking for forgiveness of our sins and for the sins of our forefathers.
Absolutely. All praises, right? What you got, brother? You said what? You said what?
Levites have different commandments.
They have different commandments that apply to them. Come, absolutely.
After every 7 Sabbaths.
What you got, sis?
I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding in the 7th year, do you have to clear the whole, what if you have something like from the 6th year that on the actual land? Do you have to clear it out?
I don't think so. It didn't say.
I think you just leave it as is.
No, you can't touch it. Once it's in that year of Jubilee, you have to let that.
Yeah, leave it as is.
Jubilee, when that year comes, you gotta let that be.
Just let it go wild.
What you got?
I'm not listening as well, but like, do we know, like, is there a time frame where we would know when that 7th year of the Jubilee comes?
There is. Yeah, I'm trying to think about that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I ask, because it's like, I'm not, my job is landscaping, so I'm like, can't cut the land.
Yeah, but the Jubilee, even when we talk about the, giving back and redeeming of possessions and things like that, that's important, right? Because we want to make sure that we're these are commandments that's given to us, right? Let me get back to you on that. Remember, remind me this week.
I'm trying to do right.
I got you.
I'm trying to cut you right.
What else? What are some other things?
On the 7th year, after 7 Sabbaths, we do the year of Jubilee.
You said what?
After 7 years, we do the year of Jubilee.
When is Jubilee?
50.
Thank you.
So,
every 7 years will be considered the Sabbath year. After seven of those cycles go by, that 50th year would be considered the year of Jubilee.
For the 7-month thing?
Yes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
The second thing.
It's right after the Day of Atonement.
All right. What else? What else we got?
The angels execute Most
God,
High.
that was good. All right.
The Most High gave the heathen for our possession.
All praise. So
Forever.
forever. They gotta remember who they're talking to when you're on the street. All right, one more thing. What we got?
That Father reveals things to us through visions and dreams.
All praise. All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for the mercy you truly endure forever. There's a couple of things I want to discuss before we kind of eat and kind of settle down. Feast of Pentecost is coming up. All right. I believe it's on the. Do we have that on the even of the 16th?
I think it said it started like in the morning time.
So it'll be.
So
So that's starting. So Saturday night will start.
Saturday night. Saturday.
That means Saturday night they'll start it.
All right, so I just heard about Sunday.
So Saturday night, we'll after Sabbath next week, we'll begin our opening of Feast of Pentecost. Make sure you bring in your bread. Is it unleavened bread, right? Leavened bread. So make sure you're bringing your leavened bread. You know what I'm saying? And cook it in your house. Do what you need to do.
Unleavened.
Leavened bread. Right.
Bread.
Let's see if we can read it. Let's get that real quick. So it's going to be on May 16th. That is correct. New moon is actually on the 10th. Now let me ask you a question. This is to everybody in this room. And I suggested this when we talked about this during council. If I was to open up I won't be here, but during the week I'm not here. I'm back in Fort Lauderdale. But what I'm thinking is, if you guys want to come, you need a place to kind of dwell and celebrate the new moon. You guys are free to do that. I'll give one of the brothers the keys. Just make sure y'all locked up, clean everything, make sure everything is good. Is that something that y'all want to do? Is that something y'all would be willing to participate in? I don't want to give somebody the key and then only one brother shows up. You know what I'm
interested in that.
You're interested in that, right? All right. So new moon's on May 10th. I'm gonna give one of y'all brothers the keys today, so y'all can do that. Right? One of y'all gonna have to come through and kind of set things up. If you got bring some food and bring the regular stuff, right? Bring some food, dwell together. Y'all got games, you got cards here. The house is open to y'all. Just make sure everything is taken care of. I don't want to come back and see a hole in the wall. Just make sure you're taking care of it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So I'll teach you that. I'll teach you that before we leave. So what will happen? We're gonna put the YouTube, the service on YouTube. You guys can watch it once the service is over. Y'all can kind of dwell together, eat together, and y'all can stay as long as y'all want. Just make sure everything is clean and locked up. All right. So I'll give one of y'all brothers the key today. It's either Obadiah or Yahweh. What else? So May 16th that evening.
What are you saying? Bring in leavened bread?
Leavened bread. So we're gonna read about it real quick.
I've heard getting rid of leavened bread. What you're saying, bring it.
Hold on one second. Is that Leviticus 23?
16.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So read on Leviticus chapter 23. Start at verse 15. So we will be having Feast of Pentecost next week at the even. So Saturday night we will be here, right? We'll start at 7 o'clock. How y'all feel about that? That's good time, right? Or 8 o'clock. I know Jake likes to be late. 7 o'clock. We will start the Feast of Pentecost here, and we'll celebrate together. But yeah, read 23 and start at verse 15. What you got? What if they're working?
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta do what they gotta do. The bills gotta get paid. I'm not in a position to tell no one to stop working. If you can get off, make it happen. But I understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is captivity. I do know that there are other things that need to be taken care of. So yeah, read that.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 15. And ye shall count unto you for the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete.
Right.
Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days.
Right.
And ye shall offer a new meat offering
Right.
unto the Most High.
So this is that's that 50th day. Right. The 50th day will be the Feast of Weeks, Feast of Pentecost. Read on.
Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2 tenth deals.
So the place where you live, make your bread in your house, and you bring it outside your house into the holy place, the sanctuary. Read on.
They shall be of fine flour,
Right.
They shall be baken with leaven,
Right.
They are the first fruits unto the Most High.
They are the first fruits unto the Most High. So what does it mean? Let's go back. You shall bring out of your habitations 2 loaves of 2 tenth deals. What does 2 tenth deals represent? That represents what? Your tithe. Right? That represents a tithe into the Most High. Right? So 2 tenth deals are 2 loaves of bread. That's what you give. Right? Read on.
And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs,
Right?
without blemish,
Right?
of the first year, 1 bullock, 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Most High, with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire,
Right?
of sweet savor unto the Most High.
Right?
Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering.
Jump down to verse 21.
Verse
Right?
21.
We don't sacrifice anymore. Right? Read on.
And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be in holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work.
That's a holy convocation. Remember that. Right? What is a holy convocation?
A separate gathering.
A separate gathering. This is a commandment, right? So if you can't be here, be here. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing we gotta get it. We have to get in order with that. You know, a lot of times, you know, brothers and sisters, they doing their own thing during the week. We gotta show up for these high holy days that pop up. We gotta. I mean, even if you show face for 5 minutes, that's better with me than not showing up at all, kicking your feet up on your couch. Right? Serve the Most High first, and the Most High will look out for you. Right? All right. So next week, 7 o'clock, Feast of Pentecost at night. Right?
It's literal 2 loaves of bread.
2 loaves of bread. Make sure you bake them.
Okay.
You gotta be baking in your house. You can't buy the bread off the shelf and say, you gotta be what, here you go. No, that's not how it works. You said what? Yes, please, yes. Yes, bring other, oh man. Let's go through that really quick. Salaki. I'm glad you mentioned that. We're gonna go through what we're bringing to Feast of Weeks. Matter of fact, let's go through what we're bringing for. Who will be here for New Moon? Does anybody know? You'll be here. Who else? Yes, that's going to be on May 10th. That's Monday.
May 10th.
May 10th. Huh? 7 p.m. Yes. May. What time y'all want to do May 10th? They usually start at 7. 7:30? Okay. 7:30. Feast of Pentecost is at 7. All right.
May 10th at 7:30 p.m. on Monday.
Yes, May 10th, 7:30 on Monday. Feast of Pentecost, 7 o'clock. Saturday, next Saturday. Make sure you come through. I don't want to hear no excuses. I'm gonna be looking for everybody. All right. All right. It might be all y'all, honestly.
Make sure I got this right. Feast of Pentecost is May 16th at 7 p.m. New Moon is May 10th at 7:30 p.m.
Yes, correct. All right, May 10th. All right, will you be here, Josh? For New Moon? All right, I want to go through a list really quick of what we're bringing. We need to start doing that because I don't want everybody to show up and then we only got Publix chicken. You know what I mean? We good for that. Nah, not to say anything wrong with Publix chicken. That's fine.
There's stuff wrong with Publix chicken.
You said what?
There's stuff wrong with Publix.
What is it?
They fry it in the same fryer as they do with like pork steak and stuff like that. From what the last time I heard, at least some of the stuff, they
outside, they fry some of the same inside of the same fryer. For real. I'm not lying, huh? Yeah, it tastes great.
Let me look at that. That's actually been a topic at LOZ for a long time. This Publix chicken has been suspect for a long time. We need to get down to the butter.
They don't care. I don't know, Shambhala worked there. He said,
exactly.
Shambhala.
All right, let's go through what we're doing real quick. What can you bring to me? Can somebody scribe really quick?
Rice and beans, chicken.
Hold on. Salaki.
I'm writing it down.
All right, come. All right, brother Josh, what can you bring?
Rice, beans, chicken.
Rice, beans,
bread,
chicken.
bread.
Listen, I'm gonna hold people accountable to this list. Don't come with Kool-Aid after you say I'm bringing rice. I'm gonna hold everybody accountable.
Josh, rice, beans.
Brother Josh, rice, beans, chicken. What else?
Bread.
Bread. All right. This is for new moon.
Yes.
Okay. You coming in? All right. You won't be. What about you? You be? Okay. You be here? Okay. Just let me know. You'll be here. All right. What can you bring up? Bring some dessert. All right. Come. Dessert. Come. All right. Come. What you? Cole, you won't be here. Yeah. Okay. Brother, y'all, what? Can you bring anything?
Publix chicken.
Publix chicken. All right.
Hey, I ruined it for you, huh?
Not yet. That's just.
I'll bring a fruit salad.
Fruit salad? Okay, that sounds like a good meal. Rice, chicken, dessert, fruit salad. That's pretty solid.
All right, bring salad.
Brother Alwyn,
I don't think I'll be
you want to be here? Okay. You can, cool. What you got?
This is for what day?
This is gonna be for Monday.
For this Monday coming up?
Yes. 7:30.
Okay, come back.
All right, I got
I'll bring something good.
Okay.
I know that.
That's fine.
I'll bring something good. And I can.
you. Okay, perfect. All praises. Sister, we be here? Okay. Sister Marie, we be here?
I think I'm off on Monday. I thought it was tomorrow.
All right, so the people that I have going to be bringing food is Josh, myself, Obadiah, and that's it.
Hey, we're gonna do it. We do it for them.
What's missing?
Who's missing? Who did I miss?
No, what is missing?
What is missing?
Okay.
For Josh is bringing rice, beans, chicken.
Well,
Howard is bringing fruit salad. Obadiah is bringing dessert. Unknown. We'll be sugared up for sure.
Yeah, sugar up for sure.
I'll bring some beef ribs.
Listen,
Some beef ribs.
all
Since
praises.
you're gonna have chicken, I'll bring some beef.
All
Beef
praises.
ribs.
Say
What's your
that.
name? Courtney?
Huh? So you know drinks. Hey, what you guys need some drinks, man.
I got water.
Oh, all right, water. somebody bring some.
Water's great.
Somebody bring some lemonade if you can.
I'll bring some.
That's how generic.
All right, real lemonade or fake lemonade?
Real lemonade.
I'll make some real lemonade out of lemon.
All praise.
All right.
I do know who started. All right.
Cane sugar.
Is that it? Is that all? Oh, Pentecost, Salaki. We're gonna have to go through this one more time. I should have just went two at a time, Salaki. Can you Pentecost will be here?
Pentecost?
Yes. Saturday evening.
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Probably there for like only for a little
Okay,
bit.
that's fine. Can you bring something for that?
Most likely, yes.
Okay. What can you bring?
Probably the same thing.
All right. Yahweh, can you write that down? This is for Feast of Pentecost.
Okay, hold on a second. Sister Marie, she says mac salad.
Mac
salad.
Oh, that's enough. See, like that. Like I could do.
Okay,
Potato
this is a
salad.
different meal now?
Yes, this is for Feast of Pentecost. Make sure you bring in your bread. All right, what you got?
Potato salad.
Potato salad. That's it. That's all. Good.
Not more than that, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying.
Josh,
If you can, yeah, bring one. So there's gonna be here. Okay, fine. Can you bring anything? What you need? Tito's?
You're naughty.
Hey, you said you trying to bring it.
that's May 16.
Man, Tito's all right. Yeah, bring some Tito's. All praise. Come. So the sixth, it's going to go, it starts at Saturday night, but they're having it on the 16th.
Okay. So on Sunday.
It's Saturday, so Saturday night brings in that Sunday. So that's considered the 16th.
Okay.
All right, so hold on a second. I got Feast of Pentecost, May
Yes.
16th at 7 p.m. And I heard someone say something about a dish. I didn't get that.
Yes, he said a salad.
Chicken, rice and beans, potato salad.
Okay.
Josh,
Chicken, rice, and
chicken.
Chicken, rice and beans, potato
So
salad.
similar to what
bread.
you're bringing on.
Yes.
You got a whole bunch of bread too, so.
Oh, yeah,
It's
lots
all
of
good.
bread.
Listen, we gotta feast it up, man.
Lots of
Right?
bread.
You said Tito, hallelujah, all praise. What you got? Oh, you're not gonna be here. You're not gonna be here. What about you? You can make it that night?
Baked beans and mac and cheese.
Baked beans,
Oh,
mac
that
and
sounds
cheese.
good.
Hallelujah.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Hey, the brothers up here are putting the brothers in Fort Lauderdale to shame. I know that, right? Nah. Listen, when they go to the list in Fort Lauderdale, when you go to the brother's side, all they bring is lemonade and water. That's it. Strong drink, right? Wow. Come on, I'll praise you. All right, come on.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'll bring the wine.
Make sure you come. Okay, no problem. I call you won't be here.
Reserve a question mark.
Howard, what you got?
I'll bring, let's see, Josh is bringing chicken, rice, beans, and some of the others bringing baked beans.
Mac and cheese.
Brother Yankball.
I know, he's been saying that the whole time.
That's funny, man. He's calling the sons of crazy.
That's all I've been hearing him call it, I'll pick that up.
I'm good.
All right, so I've got Josh bringing chicken, rice, beans.
Yes.
Brother Yaquab, right? Brother Yaquab bringing baked beans. Obadiah bringing dessert with a question mark.
Right.
And I'll bring with that balance.
We're gonna have to buy the
I'll bring the,
chickens
I'll
today.
bring give everybody that likes that stuff, which is the fries in the refrigerator right now.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! My man! Hallelujah! All praise to the heavenly God.
All right, son, brother Alwin, will you be able to make it?
I'm gonna leave cash.
Okay.
I have up to work 6 nights every week. So.
I got you. Understood. I pray the Most High release you from that burden. What you got, bro? Yeah, give us 2 minutes, man. We almost finished. I got you. I'm hungry too.
You got another question?
He said, "Can we eat now?" All right, I got everybody, all the brothers. Sister Courtney, will you be here? This is for next Saturday.
It's on Saturday.
Saturday night. The day is on 16. The day is on the 16th, but it comes in at Saturday night. Remember, nighttime brings in the next day.
Yeah, but when do we get together on Sunday?
No, Saturday night. Yeah, all praise, hallelujah. All right, Sister Courtney, can you bring? Well, you're tentative. Just let us know what you can bring. Will you be here, sis? What is it?
Oh, yeah. Chicken and rumble.
Oh, hey. Oh, we lit. All praise. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We Lee County. Yes, Lee County lit. We Lee County lit. We Lee County lit. All right.
I'm not being here.
Rum punch.
I might be here.
Rum punch. Sister Marie. Shema. Sister Marie. Okay.
What did you have?
You can never leave out rice.
That's true. Well, Leviticus, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Leviticus rice is good. Leviticus rice. I like the pickles. I like the pickles too. Leviticus rice. Leviticus rice is all right. I need that. Hey, we living. Please, bring the beautiful rice. All right, it just hit different. We're good, right? Everybody, listen. Come on. I got everybody, right? Who did I get? Your boy. You help your mom out. Help your mom out. Did you say you bring it? Oh yeah, I'm bringing wine. Both days. Oh, this man. I was gonna do that. I'm bringing wine.
You going off, bro?
I was just getting off. Come on, right.
Let me,
Give me a break.
Go
Go ahead.
real quick. So New Moon, which is gonna be Monday at 7:30.
Yes.
We have Josh bringing rice, beans, and chicken.
Yes.
Howard does bringing a fruit salad and real lemonade. Obadiah is bringing dessert with a question mark. Sister Courtney is bringing beef ribs. Sister Marie is bringing mac and cheese. Macaroni salad.
That's for the Monday.
Captain's bringing wine.
No, not for
Monday, I can't make it Monday.
You said overnight.
Yeah, I did. Salaki. I was thinking I was in love.
So the next is Feast of Pentecost, which is May 16th at 7 p.m. Josh is bringing chicken, rice, and beans.
And potato
Yahweh
salad.
is bringing baked beans. Obadiah is bringing dessert, question mark.
You forgot the Tito's, huh?
Huh?
You forgot the Tito's.
You forgot the
He said he bringing Tito's. This is Feast of Pentecost, right? Come all praise.
Spell the name?
Judah, right? Come.
Judah. J-U-D-A-H.
I would know.
And what is he bringing?
So with the bread.
Cheetos.
Tito. What is Tito? I don't even know what that is.
It's a strong drink. That ain't a drink. That's a drink. It's a drink.
Right. So we got Howard is bringing the soybean meat dish.
Okay.
Sister Marjorie is bringing brown stewed chicken. Sister Marie is bringing rice and beans. Captain said he's gonna bring some wine. And Brother Judah is bringing Tito's strong drink.
Oh, praise God. Be to the power of Aaron, Moses, and Jacob. What you got, brother? Come on. Don't try. No, come on, man. We drink the best around here. I got you. I'll bring some bamboo. Some bamboo rice. That's strong drink.
I'm like hearing you drink names I ain't never heard
That's
of.
for Feast of Pentecost.
Yeah. I'm bringing that bamboo.
So that's officer.
Yeah, it's a newer drink.
Officer Asher. Bring a strong drink.
Yeah. I think it'll be right. I might bring some pomegranate water too. I might bring some pomegranate water. Yes. Not Monday. Monday is New Moon. All praises. Let's close out so we can get some food. I didn't think that was gonna take so long. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns that we need to address before we get out? Yes.
So, there's only one specific chicken that has the pork.
Okay.
It's the fried chicken with the bone, but the popcorn chicken they don't put in the same.
So
Fried chicken with the bone is the one that you can't eat.
We're gonna clarify this. I'm gonna look into this. We have a brother who's on the inside. We gonna look into it. We gonna do our best.
I'll send you an email.
If you got a brother that knows
Okay,
that,
come on. I'll pray. All right.
they might not do the same at all public.
All right. So we'll stand up, face the east, and up and pray.
That'd be good, because that chicken is fire. And when I did that,
Sounds like it too. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 92 and verse 1. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Most High, and to sing his praises unto thy name, O Most High, to show forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night, upon the instrument of good strings, and upon the psaltery, and upon the harp with the solemn sound. For thou, Most High, hast made me glad through thy word. I will triumph in his works of thy hands, O Most High. How great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Most High, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Most High, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shall not exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Most High shall flourish in the court of our power. They shall still bring fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show the Most High is upright. He is my rock. There is no unrighteousness in him. Ba'ashem Mashaki Awashai, the water to Yah. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Father, we ask that you forgive us for our sins and our transgressions once again. Father, we thank you for everything that you have given us. And we thank you for returning the heritage of our forefathers back unto us. We ask that you continue to let us walk down the narrow path and let us neither go left nor right, but continue to walk the straight path to the kingdom of heaven. Father, we ask that you allow your angels to be encamped around us and keep us protected in these last days. We ask that you continue to give us knowledge, understanding, wisdom, and patience and power and confidence in all the things that are needed to be powerful Israelites in this world. Father, we thank you for everything that you have done for us and continue to do for us. All these things we say thank you and ask in your son's name. Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, the water of Yah. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Like Yahweh, great King of the universe, always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel sing. Amen, 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 amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Amen, 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 amen. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. 1, Abraham. 2, Isaac. 3, Jacob. 4, brothers wake up. 5, to reality. 6, nationality. 6, Israel. Late at night, when I'm sleeping, my spirit starts to creep in my bones. In my bones. In my bones. In my bones. When I get to heaven, people gonna say,
with a little bit of anger. I reply with a little bit of anger. I earn my living as an Israelite ranger. I earn my living as an Israelite ranger. Carry my Bible by my side. I carry my Bible by my side. Gonna carry my Bible till the day I die. Gonna carry my Bible till the day I die. His grace, His Hallelujah. Praise His name. Hallelujah. 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 Praise His name. Hallelujah. 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 That was a lot better than last week. I appreciate that. All through. Nah, that's something we learned a long time ago. I think the elders got.
Yeah. We got I've been there.
Right. All praise be to the prophet, my Jacob. Come to the feast of Pentecost, New Moon. We have New Moon May 10 at 7:30. We have Feast of Pentecost Getting Feast at May 16th at 7 p.m. So make sure you come out. Some welcome your brothers, welcome your sisters, and familyhood. And say shalom. Shalom to our spiritual. All time.
All praise.
Whoa.